Day 5 of NFL free agency is here. Welcome back for another live coverage from the Browns Report, the Broncos Breakdown, and Falcons Today. Matthew Peterson, the host of all three channels here at Chat Sports, and we're going to do another Tricast here as we wait for some news to come in, maybe on Cooper Kupp potentially, as it appears he has whittled down his list to, say, 5 teams. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Then we've got some Falcons and Browns content to get to with Myles Garrett having his press conference today. I'll give you my thoughts and takeaways from all of that, so a lot to cover still, even on Friday of NFL free agency. The first wave, I'd say the first wave is about to end today. Then over the weekend, you're going to start the second wave of some of those smaller signings, although we've had plenty of small signings already. But appreciate everyone for watching and once again with us. It's been 5 straight days, and it's been a blast because sometimes the news is a little slow. I mean, there's like a flurry of moves, and then there's a dry spell. But I think we're having fun. I think we're keeping ourselves entertained. So Jared Brandt with a $20 super chat before we could even start the show. Usually I start a minute or two late because for one reason or another. This time I just wanted to refill my water, so I had to run back to the kitchen. But Jared Brandt, before we get the plane off the ground, $20 super chat. Thank you very much, Jared. Getting the Browns Report on the board. It's been a fun competition, too, for anyone that's been following us for the whole week here between all 3 of these channels. So we'll update the scoreboard and the standings in a little bit. But right now, here's where things currently stand. We've got the Browns Report right now with 18 points. 1 gold, 3 silvers, and 4 bronze. You can win a gold from either winning the Super Chat battle or the like battle. Broncos currently with 2 golds, 3 silvers, and 3 bronze. And then Falcons today with 5 golds, 2 silvers, and 1 bronze, and a commanding first place lead. So that is the updated medal count through 4 days of free agency with one last gasp effort to try and earn a gold medal in one of those 2 events, which right now the Browns Report is leading in, I think, likes and super chat. So they got a good foothold at the moment here. But let's talk about Cooper Kupp, Reed, for just a moment, because evidently a decision could be coming as soon as today. Dan Graziano and Diana Rossini both said that they expect a decision to come out soon, and it looks like there are 5 legitimate contenders. I'm not sure, how they rank in terms of who's more serious than another. The Saints and the Cowboys this morning emerged as possible destinations for Kupp and teams that have interest in the former Rams receiver. Yesterday, Adam Schefter listed the Broncos, the Patriots, and the Seahawks. And then the last update we got was Kupp is looking for somewhere in the neighborhood of $12 to $15 million. For Denver, I think that's just a little too rich for someone who's missed a ton of time over the past 3 seasons, who's just not the same player he was back in 2021. I am drawing my line in the sand for $10 million. I just feel like anything over that, it's going to be an overpay, and you're going to be underwhelmed for what you got in return. So if you can find a way to bring him in on a 1-year, $8-9 million contract, sure, what the heck, why not, right? What do you have to lose other than Walton Penner's money and a little bit of cap space? But north of that, I just think it's not going to live up to everyone's expectations and be a disappointment. So that's where I stand on things right now. If I had to guess, Kupp has really 2 options here. He can either take more money and play across the country in New England when he's been a West Coast guy his entire life, right? Played for the Rams from start to finish. Went to college at Eastern Washington. Lives in Oregon, I believe, in the offseason. So become a New Englander. Or maybe take a little bit less money and play for the Seahawks, who need a new wide receiver to help replace DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. But you're not going to be joining as much of a contender as you would have with, say, the Broncos. But I'm not even exactly sure if Denver's all that interested. Maybe Kupp is more interested in the Broncos than, going back the other way. Denver interested in Kupp. So that's where things currently stand with Cooper Kupp. My prediction is we will get a decision before Monday. May not be today. I don't know. He's on the West Coast right now, so it's 11 a.m. And if I had to guess the team, though, I'd go Seattle. I think there are some pros to it. The opportunity is there for him to get a lot of targets with him and JSN leading that receiving room. And he gets to play the Rams twice, which I think players enjoy the opportunity to stick it to their old team that dumped them and stay on the West Coast, go back to Washington, back in his stomping ground. So I'll say Cooper Kupp is a Seattle Seahawk. Falcons fans will get a good kick out of that after last year. Mike Nintendo Master. Matthew Peterson, I have a deal for you. Do you want to hear it? Yeah, I love deals. Let's go. What's going on, Mike? Send it my way. Brian, hey, Petey, what's your take on Myles Garrett's press conference? Great question, Brian. So Garrett, if you don't know, had his press conference with the media today. He signed that 4-year, $160 million extension after asking for a trade. It makes him a $40 million man a season, the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. The second most is Max Crosby at 35.5. So sometimes you see players just want to barely one-up the previous guy who got paid. Garrett cleared it by a landslide. So listening to his entire press conference, I have a few thoughts. One, I understand. Let's start with the decorations. The Browns had dinosaurs on the podium and dinosaur cupcakes because Myles likes dinosaurs. This is probably me overreacting to it, but I did find it a bit strange. Not a lot, but just a little bit, because here's a player who requested a trade, who said, I don't believe in the direction of this franchise, and the Browns are trying to pretend like none of that ever happened. Oh, let's put his favorite toys on the table like it's Michael Scott's desk. So I thought that was, I don't know what the right word is for it, but kind of simping for him. And it's like, I get it. He's your employee. You want to make your employees happy, but are we just going to pretend like everything he said about the Browns and the lack of faith in the direction they're headed ever happened? Sure seems like this is a one-sided relationship that the Browns are putting way more effort into make work than Garrett is. Michael with the $50 super chat. But put the dinosaur stuff aside. Let's get actually into the meat and potatoes of it. One, for someone who just signed a $40 million extension, it sounded more like a funeral than a celebration. I get that he was probably on guard and on his defense because a lot of questions were being tossed his way, and fairly so. The guy said, hey, I want to be traded, and it's not about the money. And then he takes a huge contract. So you got to help us figure out what happened. How do we go from there to there? But I think the tone and the vibe, we'll put it, was pretty telling that Garrett just came to the realization they're not trading me. If I'm going to be here, why not get more money and add a no trade clause to my contract so that the next time I request a trade in maybe 2 years or so, I've got a little bit more leverage in where I could get dealt. But Brian, those are my two. I don't want to say the dinosaur one is a big takeaway for me. I just thought I'd share that because I found it a little bit, I don't think strange is probably the right word, but noteworthy. And then the thing I appreciated the most from it would be Garrett acknowledged that he's got to, win the fans by his play on the field. And if the Browns win a bunch of games, no one's going to be upset with Garrett requesting a trade. If things don't go well, Garrett does not strike me as someone who really believes to his core this is a place that can win. And I don't think he's going to get up there and really motivate the locker room like you'd hope a team captain and leader would to turn things around if the Browns get off to an 0-2 start. I think he's probably just going to have the mindset of, see, I was right. We can't win here. And now I'm stuck here kind of. But I did this to myself because I signed an extension, but I had no other option. So I'm not going to be the rah-rah leader to turn things around because I don't want to be here to begin with because I don't think we can do anything in the postseason. Michael with a $50 super chat. Good morning, Broncos country. Go Bo Broncos. Back-to-back streams with Michael Ron. How do they pronounce the last name? Ronquillo? Yeah, Ronquillo with a $50. Well, yes, there's 100. Michael with a $50 super chat. Let's go. Thank you so much, Michael. Putting the Broncos breakdown up at the top of the leaderboard for the super chat battle. Let's see if Denver can stay there. Falcons today still trying to get on the board. They got a lot of gold medals, so maybe they feel like we can just kind of play the backups a little bit and mail it in on day 5, or maybe they're going to be a sleeping giant. But right now, super chat battle, $50 for the Broncos breakdown, $20 for the Browns report, and $0 for Falcons today. Like battle, I mean, it's neck and neck, right? There's barely any separation from first to third right here. Now, for it being the last day of free agency of our live coverage, I wanted to do something fun for all three channels. For anyone that's just tuned in, this is a Tricast between all three channels here at Chat Sports. So all three channels seeing the same picture and hearing the same audio. But I just want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in and watching our coverage. So I know how popular the duck races are, and I thought for it being the last day, we could have a duck race. Now, a duck race is no fun if there's no prize at the end. So I put together some prizes. So let's start with, I don't know, Reed, whichever one you want to pick. Yeah, that works. I'll start with the Broncos one, and then we'll go through all three. So the Broncos one and the Browns one are the same prize, which is when I was at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis, on the way out, which, by the way, the last day for like the 60 tables that were set up for media members, there were probably 10 to 15 left, at max 15. And so I went around, and as the lady was just collecting all of the table markers and throwing them in the trash, I just said, can I have this? And she's like, sure, no one's ever asked, but if you want it. And I was like, I think some viewers might enjoy this. So I don't know, maybe, maybe not, but I snagged a Broncos and a Browns table marker. I couldn't get a Falcons one. I think she got to it before I realized what was going on, and it was already thrown away because she had like a wheelbarrow, like a wagon, and I was diving into it trying to find the Falcons one, and it wasn't there. So if you super chat any amount, you'll be added to the raffle for both. This for the Broncos, we'll do different raffles, of course, different duck races. And then this one for the Browns. If you're unable to super chat, that's not a problem. I'll pick people out of the chat at random as well throughout the course of our live show today. And for Falcons, I'm sorry I could not get the table marker, but I am going to Las Vegas next weekend for a bachelor party. So I'm going to go old school here. What I want to do, and I think this could be some fun, is I'm going to go to the sportsbook, obviously, during March Madness, and I'm just going to put in $20, $30 on the Falcons to win the NFC South. And whoever wins this raffle, I'm just going to mail you the printed out bet slip. Because there's nothing better, I feel like, than a good old-fashioned printed out bet slip. Because that really feels like you're holding on to a golden ticket, right? You were like, this is something, when it's on your phone, you kind of forget about it. And you're like, oh, I didn't even realize it. Plus, when you win something that way, you end up just respending the money on the app. But with the tickets, you can either go to Vegas if you plan on going, or you can always mail it in, and then they just mail you your winnings. Do you know what a rush it would be next year in like January to get a letter from Caesar's Palace with like $45 in it? That'd be the ultimate rush for the month of January. Yeah. So call me old-fashioned, call me old school. I still miss paper tickets. I hate how everything now is strictly on your phone. I used to have a great ticket collection, RIP to paper tickets, and I like a good old paper. You know, I still have the very first, my wallet I carry with me, the very first legal sports bet I made. I keep this in my wallet. I went to Caesar's Palace in Windsor, Ontario when I was 19, because it's only 19 to gamble there, and I made on April 6, 2019, a NHL parlay that did not hit. But I still have it. So I keep it with me. From Casino Point Spread. It's in English and French. Bonjour. So those are the Super Chat raffles. We're going to do the duck races. We'll do it around, say, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Robert with the $5 super. So to summarize, Super Chat, you're in the duck race. Can't Super Chat. I'm going to pick names at random in the chat. I might pick you. I might not. It's kind of a luck of the draw. Enter me in for that book and taking Broncos breakdown. It's who are the two people gunning for my job? It's Robert now, and then Demented Tree, which, by the way, Demented Tree saw me call him out, kind of. Call it a strong word, but mentioned him in my video yesterday, and he commented like, I am coming for your job. So I love it. Let's get competitive. Let's have fun. Robert, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. All right. Any news? That's the first step right here. I don't think so. Kareem Hunt re-signed with the Chiefs for what it's worth. But other than that, no. We got nothing going on the news front. It's the last day of the first week of NFL free agency. So a lot of big names, of course, off the streets. the new teams. Let me just read out some of the best remaining free agents just to let everyone know who's still out there that's worth signing. Tim Patrick. Oh, I did not see that. It worked out. Did it work out? I don't know. Do you guys think, talking to Broncos fans right now, was it a good idea to let Tim Patrick go? Because you got some good production from Devon Vele and Troy Franklin. I think if I told Sean Payton what Tim Patrick would do with the Lions, he might decide, yeah, let's not get rid of him actually. So, best of luck to Tim Patrick. All right, let's run through some of the best players available. Oh, yeah, what's your proposition? If we get to 100 likes in the next 2 minutes, you will do in a future live stream a fan-led mock draft. I like that idea. Yeah, you know what? We were toying with the idea of, not to bore you with what production side we have here, but we can like mirror, like the duck race is on a computer, and we just mirror from the computer into a box here. And we were talking about mirroring just a mock draft simulator site, because the tough thing with a fan-led mock is that it's a little tough to keep up with the mock draft and what the people are saying in the chat. But if it's mirrored, it's really simple. It's very transparent. So I like that idea. Mike, we're at 53 likes right now. It's 2:22 Eastern time. Yeah, put a 2-minute timer up. Let's give it an extra minute. Can we get 47 likes in 2 minutes? So while we're doing that, I'm just going to run through some of the top free agents available in case you're wondering. This is from NFL.com's list, so it's their order and their rankings. They have Amari Cooper at 11th, for example. I don't think Amari Cooper was the 11th best player in free agency. I don't think the NFL watched their own product. He did not look terrific last year by any stretch. Caught me by surprise. Asante Samuel, Falcons fans, that could be a good DB target. Aaron Rodgers, of course. Coach Chris with a $20 super chat. Let me run through some more free agents. And then how about I give some predictions as to where they might end up. Some of these will be tough to predict. Like, I don't think Amari Cooper signs anywhere for a while. I think he might be someone that teams wait till after the draft and go, all right, we were hoping to get a receiver. We didn't. And let's bring Cooper in. And I don't have a good guess as to where that could be. Aaron Rodgers. I think Rodgers is going to go to the Giants. I think Aaron Rodgers is, for a few reasons. One, I think with the Giants, he could have Brian Dable and Joe Shane by the balls because they are desperate. They are on the hottest of seats right now across the league. And in Pittsburgh, you have to play by Mike Tomlin's rules. I don't know if Rodgers wants to play by Mike Tomlin's rules. That's one thought. Two, how much would Rodgers, as a person, like knowing Rodgers, love the opportunity to play well with the other New York team in the same stadium and stick it to the Jets? I think he would really enjoy that. Stephon Diggs still available. Tevin Jenkins, former Bears second-round pick, offensive guard, visiting the Seahawks. Calais Campbell, almost 40 years old. Azeez Ojulari, that's a pass rusher. Atlanta could have interest in. Mekhi Becton. I was a little surprised he didn't get signed in the first few days, and it doesn't appear that he's going back to Philly with the Eagles trading for Kenyon Green. So that's one name to watch for. Jameis Winston's probably just going to be the sloppy seconds for like maybe the Steelers. Or they signed Mason Rudolph. I'm not sure where Jameis will end up.
He's getting signed after the draft.
You think? I don't know. I think he'll get signed in the next week or so. I think a team will take a chance on him as backup. Russell Wilson, I think. Russell Wilson's in between the Giants and the Browns and the Steelers too. Maybe he goes back to Pittsburgh. Maybe the Steelers make a big push to bring him back if Rodgers picks the Giants. Or maybe Russ decides, no, I don't want to go back here. You guys clearly had bigger interest in Rodgers, so I'm out. I'd rather sign with Cleveland and play you twice and make you regret that. And then there's Kirk Cousins, which we'll talk about in a second as well. Dante Fowler, J.K. Dobbins still out there. Zadarius Smith, Justin Simmons, Stephon Gilmore, Elijah Moore, Rasul Douglas, Keenan Allen, Cooper. How is Cooper Kupp, by the way, the 86th best receiver, 86th best free agent, but Amari Cooper is 11th? That doesn't make sense to me. Julian Blackmon, Jed Wills, Nick Chubb. Those are some of the most notable free agents available. Coach Chris with a $20 super chat. By the way, Mike, 5 more seconds, and we're 31 likes away. We might do it anyway just because I love you, Mike. Good morning, Broncos fans. It's great to see the Broncos back in the free agency hunt. It's been years. This draft is going to be epic. Go Broncos country. Go Bronco country. Coach Chris, thank you, Coach. And this draft could be a lot of fun for Denver in terms of surprise factor because they may feel like we don't have a glaring need after free agency, except for running back, but they signed like J.K. Dobbins. Maybe that changes things, but still. And that could free them up to just go pure best player available, which is always just a big wild card. You don't know what to expect. I wonder if after getting Evan Ingram, they're like, you know what? Let's be a little bit more aggressive. Let's see if we can shake the tree and have Ashton Genty fall to us. I think Genty's going to go top 10. I think the Bears might be his floor. I just may not see him get past that. But it would require a decent trade up from Denver. Or they stay put at 20 and either just take their favorite running back, which might be a bit of a reach for some people. But you get the 5th-year option on him in round 1 versus round 2, so that could be an added bonus as well. I don't know from our Browns channel. Thank you, Coach. It's Friday, going to be 70 and sunny. What a beautiful day to sign Nicholas Jamal Chubb. I hope the Browns bring back Nick Chubb. He wants to come back. Everyone in the dog pound wants him back. I'm not convinced Andrew Berry feels like he is worth a signing, but wouldn't hurt to get a couple PR points right now, right? Worst case scenario, what? It costs you virtually no money, and yes, a roster spot, but even if Nick Chubb's not super productive, I still think his presence is worth a roster spot. So I'd love it for the Browns if they brought him back, but I agree with you. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. We got 156 viewers on our Falcons stream, 196 on our Browns stream, 228 on our Broncos stream. So for anyone watching that wants to get some more gear for your favorite team in your closet, we got a Bo Nix jersey, a Browns t-shirt. There's also a Falcons hoodie available. Go to chatsports.com/fanatics. These deals, these sales, they come and go, so I don't want you to wait too long and then the sale's no longer available. So get it done right now. Get some of the best gear available for your favorite squad on sale. chatsports.com/fanatics. We got a super chat coming in from Kingston. What is the chat saying? Godzilla, stop spending money on used players. Find talent in the draft or 1-year low. Prove it deals. That sounds like an owner's burner. Like just trying to put that out there. Stop spending my money. Kingston Powell. Kingston, thank you so much for your super chat and support of the channel. Appreciate it. That gets Kingston entered into our Broncos Combine table marker raffle. Super chat any amount. I've got one for the Broncos. I've got one for the Browns. I do not have one for Atlanta, unfortunately, but my offer for the Falcons is I go to Vegas next week. I'll put $20 down on Atlanta to win the NFC South, and if it hits, you get the winnings. I don't even need my $20 back. You get all of it. So that's what we got going on. I just want to have some fun. But more importantly, I just want to show my appreciation for everyone who's been supporting us here via Super Chats, watching, liking, commenting, and hanging out with us for 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe all 5 days of free agency. If you've been watching all 5 days of free agency, get in the chat, type me. I just want to know who the real ones are right now. Mike, I guess no mock didn't hit the number. Thanks for taking my deal. You're the first channel to do so. Well, that's really depressing. Saying we did it. We're the first channel not to reach it, I think. Well, that would be the same thing. Okay. I said yes, though, so I'm saying that they just didn't get to the likes.
No, well, I think he's saying you're the only one that said yes to the deal. Whether or not whether or not you got to the likes.
Well, you know what? It's such a good idea anyway, Mike. We're going to do it no matter what. We'll probably do it, what's today, Friday? Sometime next week. Maybe, let's say Wednesday. Just going to pencil in Wednesday. That could be subject to change. And then here are the medal counts. Through 4 days so far, 5 points for a gold, 3 points for a silver, 1 point for a bronze. Oh, he's him. He's back. Nicole had to sneak out of class to see if the Falcons had signed anyone. I'm sorry, Nicole. If they do, I'm going to lead the video off with Nicole. Tell your teacher you're busy and you got to go. Atlanta just signed Azeez Ojulari. No, I did not actually sign. Maybe, though. Maybe. Archangel's been here the whole time. Byron Lewis has been here the whole time, along with Juwan Powell, Mr. Caldwell, Christopher Stofira, Andy, Mike, Gregory. Thank you to everyone who's been watching all 5 days of our live free agency content. He's him. Petey's a liar. He would keep that money. No, I would not. I would not keep the money. I'm trying to think of like a notable, like the most honorable example. For example, screw you, he's him. Reed can vouch for this. I was walking to work. This was a few months. This was over the fall. And I was walking to work, and I'm just crossing the street, and there's a wallet right on the ground. I pick it up, look at the driver's license from, like, New Jersey. Thought about mailing it to their house, but I was like, I had a license for a while that was not an accurate address. And I'd be upset if someone mailed my wallet to Wyoming while I lived in Texas. Yeah, so I searched their name in, like, Instagram. They popped up, and I could just see from the picture, like, this is the same person. I just DM'd them, like, hey, I found your wallet. And they were over the moon happy. Drove to the office, like, an hour later. Gave it to them. Did not take anything for myself. It was a good, rewarding feeling. Gratifying feeling. Made that person's day, because they definitely thought they lost their wallet, and they had to go through the process of replacing it. So, he's him. Screw you. We got, I don't know, with the super chat. Kennard Drake, I've been here all week. Work's been kicking my butt. However, rise up. Appreciate it, Mr. Drake. Thank you for watching with us. Tell your boss to go fuck himself. Rylan, especially as a Boise State fan, we're talking Genty. That'd be awesome for Denver. No lies. What are your thoughts on Shedeur? Personally, no. All right, let's talk about Shedeur Sanders. I've got Browns fans here. I've got, honestly, all three fan bases have some stake in this, right? Browns picking number 2, landing with Dion, and Broncos fans who probably / could all be Colorado fans. I'm going to give my thoughts. Ryan Clark, I think, I didn't watch the full clip, so shame on me for that. Basically called everyone a racist if you didn't like Shedeur Sanders. I was like, I don't know. I really didn't like Will Levis. So I think it goes both ways. But here's my thing on Shedeur. I believe that he has the tools and the tools and the profile, that's the word I'm looking for, to be a good NFL quarterback. I don't think with the second overall pick, you should strive for just that. I think with the second overall pick, and you're taking a quarterback, you're envisioning, hey, this is someone who we think could compete for MVPs, right? You're kind of picturing Josh Allen's and Lamar Jackson's and Patrick Mahomes's. And I think Shedeur, with his accuracy, could be a Geno Smith type quarterback. And not Geno with the Jets, but more Geno with Seattle. And I don't think you should be shooting for that with the second overall pick. Now, it's okay to take someone like that in the draft and try and see if you can develop them, but that's usually not where you invest a first-round pick on. You use first-round picks on guys who you believe are as close to can't-miss possible, right? And I think there are one too many red flags with Shedeur. By red flags, the lack of arm talent. You can have successful quarterbacks like Joe Montana without crazy strong arms, Brock Purdy. There's plenty of examples of it. But I don't believe those quarterbacks would have been successful if they didn't go to a place that had a good system in place to help elevate them. I don't think the Browns currently have that. I don't think the offensive line, the run game, or the receiving core is going to help kind of pick up Shedeur a little bit early in his career. Brock Purdy, I'm not trying to say, he doesn't deserve or he's not as good as what his numbers indicate, but he was thrown to Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, and had Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. I don't think Shedeur going to Cleveland is going to be a good mix for either party. So my thoughts on Shedeur are, I believe he can be a good NFL quarterback. I think the accuracy is there. He does have a tendency to hold onto the ball for a long time and takes a lot of sacks as a result. And I think some people have just been quick to go, that's all on the offensive line. It's not a very good offensive line, but there are one too many examples of the dude just ran out of a clean pocket and he's playing backyard football, and that's not going to translate to the NFL. You got to coach that out of him. And Stefanski maybe could coach that out of him. But second overall, I've got one too many, yips or concerns. So that's why I don't think it's a good pick for the Browns at number 2. I value the second overall pick too much to go, Browns need quarterback there, Browns take quarterback. Come on, let's not be cavemen about it. Make sure you love the player you're taking at second. You're picking 27th, hey, you're going to have some issues, right? You're not getting your number 1, maybe your number 2 guy. Picking second, you better get your number 1 or your number 2 guy. And I don't think Sanders is top 2 in this draft. So there's my little rant on it. Oh,
One second. Petey's mic just decided to not work anymore. Yeah. Thank you, Jeremy.
Am I back?
Am
I back?
There he is.
Yep, I'm back. Avery Williams, like Atlanta's Avery Williams, or is there another Avery Williams in the NFL I don't know about? Sounds like Avery Williams, the former running back, receiver, return man for the Falcons, going to where did you say? The Eagles. All right, so Philly bringing in just some speed overall. Yeah, that's our old Avery Williams. With Avery Williams leaving, let's play some quick trivia here. How many draft picks from Atlanta's 2021 draft, Terry Fontenot's first draft, are still on the roster? I can think of just 2 right now. Kyle Pitts. I'll give you the total number and you guys can tell me how many there were. Ready? There were 1, 2, 3, 4. 9 players selected in the 2021 draft for the Falcons. 2025, how many remain? Any guesses? You said Kyle Pitts. Anyone else you think? 2. Kyle Pitts and Taquan Graham. Richie Grant, second rounder, gone. Jalen Mayfield, third rounder, gone. Darren Hall, fourth rounder, gone. Drew Dahlman, good pick, just didn't bring it back. Fourth rounder, gone. Taquan Graham, gone. Ogundeji, I can't pronounce his name, gone. Avery Williams, gone now. Frank Darby, I'm pretty sure Frank Darby's been, I think he was practice squad, but he's gone. So, yeah, not a great first draft for Terry. Guy came over as an NFL scout from the Saints, director of, college scouting, and did not do a good job scouting that draft. Okay. We got a few other super chats here. I would love to see Ohio State play the Browns. The Browns would whomp them, right? I mean, just think about Ohio State's greatest strength, their receiving core. We could even take put Will Howard, put all those guys on that team. The offensive line for the Buckeyes would be in stretchers at the end of the game. Like Myles Garrett against backup left tackle for the Buckeye, it'd be a bloodbath. Will Howard would die. He'd die on the field. They'd make a movie like We Are Marshall. It'd be an onslaught. Denzel Ward would never let an 18-year-old get more than a quarter yard away from him. It'd be 100-0 at halftime. You think Jerome Ford is just average in the NFL? Imagine what Jerome Ford would feel like going up against college linebackers. It'd be a huge breath of fresh air. He'd run them all over. You don't want to see this. If you're a Buckeye fan, you don't want to see that. We got some other super chats here. Is the mic okay now? It's a little choppy. I don't want choppy. A little turbulent, like in and out. Someone give me an audio level. Well, that's not good. I don't see time in the Buckeyes. Someone let me know how the thing, Robert, is it's not a cheap mic, so it's frustrating when it doesn't work well. Okay, I think we have one more or two from He's Him, so he's coming from my jugular. I don't know. We go with waves with He's Him. Sometimes he plays nicely, sometimes he doesn't play very nicely. Yes. Me, the person that said I'd rather have Justin Fields over Kirk Cousins last year. That really fits this narrative well, doesn't it? Yeah, that's you're spot on. What about me putting Michael Penix ahead of Bo Nix?
I was gonna say Michael Penix over Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
that's what we want right now.
I was advocating to bench Kirk Cousins very early in the Kirk Cousins slump, but sure, whatever you want to paint out about me. Steelers traded Watt? No way. Can't believe it. Don't think so. All right. We all caught up on supers now? We can get this off screen because I don't really want it to linger there. It looks really bad. Nicole, Pete, do you think the best college team of all time? Now my fucking... The fuck is this?
This is, it was fine for a while. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, Godzilla's like, it was choppy. Static on, off and on. If it's still a little bit, maybe we can see if we can switch mics or something. Because if it's still choppy.
We'll figure it out. Can you just mute Snowy Edits, please?
Yeah.
Go in timeout. All right. Are you back? I think that's better now. Sorry for the audio concerns. Where were we? What were we talking about? Oh, Pete, do you think the best college team of all time can beat the 0-16 Browns? No, I don't. I think we've all had this discussion at our respective lunch tables or water coolers. Wasn't there a recent example in sports of, like, this is what happens? Like, for anyone wondering. Oh, I remember what it was. It was Kendall Hinton, quarterback at at Wake Forest, played quarterback for the Broncos when everyone got COVID. And for anyone that's ever wondered, hey, what would it be like if an NFL team played a college team? Now, Kendall Hinton was not the best college quarterback, but the guy couldn't complete a pass. I think he went 1 for 9. So it'd be a beatdown. Let's see. Crumble Cookies is back. I got to be honest, Crumble Cookies, though. I'm out on Crumble Cookies because I think Crumble Cookies has gone from cookies to, like, fancy milkshakes. You know those milkshakes that you see that have a million things on top of it?
Yeah.
And they look really good in pictures and videos, but when you have one, you're like, I don't even know where to begin. Crumble Cookies just, like, became this dessert cookie that was no longer any way, shape, or form an actual cookie.
And they're all, like, so...
Yeah, I agree.
No, your mic is...
Oh, is it back? No,
again.
I don't know.
If it happens again, I'm going to see if we can get a new one.
Yeah.
See if we can borrow somebody else's.
Yeah. The Bright Wolf is in the chat. Thank you for tuning in, Bright Wolf.
What I was going to say before your mic was calories. There's like one cookie is like 800 calories.
So for anyone that's just watching, we're going to talk about some of the news for Cleveland, Atlanta, and Denver, but we are having a fun super chat giveaway item, a raffle. I snagged these from the NFL Combine. I thought someone might enjoy that to their man cave, their office, their dorm room, whatever. So super chat any amount, and we will add you to it. As for the Falcons, I did not get one, unfortunately. If I remember correctly, the Broncos contingent left like halfway-ish through the week. Browns contingent maybe around the same time, but the Falcons contingent sticked around the longest. So maybe that's why I couldn't get theirs, because when the lady was coming around collecting them, they were still at their table, and it would have been weird to be like, hey, guys, can I steal this from you? So for the Falcons, I go to Vegas next week. I'm just going to put $20 down on Atlanta to win the division, and if it wins, well, I'll mail you the bet slip, or I can hold on to it for you if you'd like. Anyways, if it hits, I'll send you all the winnings, and this will just be a fun, like, stock to invest in, which costs you, very little investment, if any, and it could pay off quite nicely. Let's actually pick one person out of each chat for a free raffle entry for these 3 raffles. So we're going to do 3 duck races. We'll do them around 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Mountain Time. let's pick Ghost Faces here. Let's pick one person from each chat. We'll start with the Broncos chat. So Broncos chat, actually, I guess all chats, just start spamming whatever you want. I'm just going to pause the chat, and whatever name I see at the bottom is going to get that free entry. So commence spamming the chat for a free entry into our raffle. Start spamming away. I'm working on it, Bright Wolf. Spam away. Denary, MJ or LeBron? This is the world's most tiresome debate. I say Jordan because I think that the biggest pros for LeBron have been the longevity element of his career. And while I think that's important for sure, I think when we're talking about the greatest, if you have more points because you played an extra 10 years, I don't think that makes you better as an overall basketball player. I think it just means you wanted to play longer. So I don't value longevity not too much, but like for me, it's not the ultimate, card you play to win. I'm going to pause the Broncos chat first, then I'll pause the Falcons chat, and then I will pause the Browns chat. Still looking for our first super chat on Falcons today. So if you super chat on Falcons, you'd be one of 2 people for this raffle item. But maybe I didn't pick a good raffle item. You guys let me know.
Broncos fan 99 says, I don't even know what we're spamming for, but okay.
Yeah.
And he started spamming.
It's kind of like the scene from Talladega Nights. Anarchy! I don't even know what it means, but I like it. All right, here we go. I'm going to pause the Broncos chat first in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing it. I've got crumble cookies. Crumble cookies. All right, Falcons channel is up next, so Atlanta starts spamming. Kennard Drake with a $2 super chat. Thank you. I'm going to pause the Falcons chat in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause it. I've got Colin E. Roberts. Coolin E. Roberts. E. Roberts. And finally, our Browns chat. Browns fans, commence spamming. Spam away. I'm going to pause it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing it. I've got Andy Gallus. Andy Gallus. So we'll do more free entries. If I didn't pick your name, don't be too bummed out. We'll do it periodically. If you really want to guarantee a spot, though, super chat, and you are in automatically. I saw we got a Falcons super chat. Let's throw that on screen really quickly, and then we'll recap some of the free agent signings for all 3 of these teams and whatnot. We'll talk more about Cooper Kupp and Myles Garrett for anyone that's just tuning in recently. And as for Atlanta, another one from Falcons today. It's a Browns fan coming over. Kennard Drake, PD loves everyone. ATL may sign a sleeper running back. ELE. Everybody love everybody. Sign a sleeper running back. I mean, they do need a third back. If they don't have a lot of faith in Jace McClellan to be RB3, but that seems like maybe an overkill of resources with Bijan and Algier. If they trade Algier, I'm with you. They're going to need a new RB2. But as long as Algier's there, I don't think they're going to add a running back unless they're like, this Jace McClellan guy stinks. So I'd be surprised, Drake. But I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. We've got another one from Falcons today. It's actually a Browns fan who migrated over to the Falcons channel to send a super chat in. After this, we will talk about Cooper Kupp and what's up with him in Denver. So, I don't know. Go Clowns, he means, a.k.a. Browns. IDK, thank you very much for the super chat. You're in the raffle for the Falcons, so you'll be pulling for Atlanta to win the division. Okay, let's talk about Cooper Kupp. And then we'll talk about Kirk Cousins, and then we'll talk about Myles Garrett. Cooper Kupp, what's the latest? For one, reports from Diana Rossini are that he could make a decision as soon as today. The Cowboys and the Saints have expressed interest in Kupp, according to Schefter and The Athletic. The Cowboys one, not that anyone should be intimidated by Dallas, I don't think is legitimate. The Cowboys never spend in free agency. They just don't. The biggest signing they have in an external free agent the last 5 years is Solomon Thomas this year for a deal worth up to $8 million. Think about that for a second. The Falcons signed a linebacker most of Atlanta had never heard of, Divine Diablo, to like $14, $15 million. That is twice what the biggest contract given out to an external free agent signing for the Cowboys from 2020 to 2024. So, no, I don't think Dallas is actually really interested. I think they want their fans to be like, Jerry's trying. Let's kind of back off Jerry a little bit for not doing anything in free agency. Jerry's on his yacht in the Bahamas. He doesn't even know free agency has started. And Steven's doing an awful job of running the show. It's almost, no, I don't want to say this to get Tom screwed over, but yeah, it reminds me of maybe like the hierarchy in the Hermit Kingdom, if you know what that is. So I don't buy the Cowboys' interest. As for, Cooper Kupp, sorry, I was blanking on the name. The other three teams, Broncos, which Adam Schefter said he thinks that Kupp would love to play in Denver. Have not actually heard verbatim Denver wants Cooper Kupp or Denver has interest. I've heard Kupp has interest in the Broncos, but not exactly the other way, just some implications. And they may have interest. Benjamin Ulbrich said they don't, more or less. But there's that on the Broncos front. Then you got New England. Cross country, been a West Coast guy his entire career from birth to 32 years old. So a major change of scenery for him. May not want to do that. But the Patriots could probably offer the most money. They have the most cap space. So if it gets into a bidding war, I think they would win it. But does Kupp want to take more money to go play for a team that's picking fourth in the draft, or maybe take a little bit less money and play for Denver if the Broncos even make an offer, or the Seahawks? That's the third party here. I think Seattle's got a really good path to landing Kupp. He has an opportunity to play the Rams twice. It's a homecoming, went to college in Washington from that area of the country, has been on the West Coast his whole life, and there's plenty of opportunities for him to get the football. It'll be him and JSN leading the receiving room. Kupp to the Seahawks could make some sense to me. Maybe the most sense, I would say. So that's my prediction right now for where Cooper Kupp ends up. Now let's talk about Kirk Cousins. What's going on with Kirk O'Chains? Kirk Cousins has a $10 million roster bonus coming on March 17th. That is this Sunday. This is a very captivating game of poker. You've got the Falcons, who are letting everyone know we do not want to move on from Kirk. We want to bring him back as a backup, signaling to all 31 other teams we're not releasing him. So if you really want him, you got to trade for him. Trying to get something out of Kirk in a trade. We will find out if they are bluffing. If they hold on to him past Sunday, they're serious about it, and they're going to pay him an extra $10 million. If they don't want him as the backup, which to me sounds like a bad idea. Yes, you do not gain anything by releasing him financially. There's no additional cap space, nothing like that. There's no positives. From a human side, and this is what I have really structured my argument around, you've got a player who smashed an egg over his head coach in New Orleans during Radio Row at the Super Bowl saying, yeah, I played through a shoulder and elbow injury. Does not paint Raheem Morris out in a very good light. Did Morris not know? If so, that's damning. You didn't know your quarterback was injured? Or he did know, and when he was asked, hey, is Kirk injured? He kept saying no. He kept playing him when he was injured. The rest of the locker room might be like, what the hell? You were trotting out an injured quarterback and we lost a spot in the playoffs? We were 6-3, but you didn't bench Kirk when you knew he was injured? Or you worse? I think it's even worse if you didn't know. You're the head coach, right? It's like the watermark incident in The Office. Do you blame Michael for the cartoon animals having sex that got printed on all those pieces of paper And then he had the press conference, and the Blue Cross, Blue Shield, I think it was, came, or Blue something, the company came. You're like, I think you should resign. And Michael's like, well, I'm not going to resign. You're the head of the company. I'm a regional manager. So that's my office breakdown for now. But it's a bad look for Raheem. All right? There's that. And then Cousins met with Arthur Blank and said, I want to go somewhere else. I want to go somewhere where I can start. And that's not here. You want to keep a player hostage? You think that player is going to be a good asset to the locker room and to the development of Penix? I don't. If they do, we'll find out. I don't. So that's the latest on Kirk Cousins. Myles Garrett. Garrett had his press conference today after signing a $160 million extension, paying him $40 million a year, the highest in NFL history. If you didn't catch it, that's fine. Let me break it down for you. One, it did not sound like this was someone who was super excited. He was on the defense for most of it. He was taking a lot of questions, and fairly so. You said you wanted a trade. You said it wasn't about the money, and then you took the biggest contract in NFL history for a non-quarterback. Makes some sense of that. And his response was, I had a change of heart, and I had a lot of communication with Andrew Berry. I think that's what his PR team told him to say. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I don't think he had a change of heart. I think he realized they aren't flinching. They aren't going to budge. I requested a trade. I put so much venom out there that I thought they would not be able to bring me back because of it. But they aren't going to trade me. So if I am going to be here, I might as well get paid a lot of money. And my issue with it is, if you have a hostage who's supposedly your team captain, if things don't go well, I don't think he's going to be one to go, let me get the troops ready. Let me get them riled up. This is a guy who didn't want to be there to begin with, right? And for everyone in that locker room, anytime Myles goes up in front of the room, I would be thinking like, aren't you the player that said that you don't believe in the direction we're headed? And we're going to follow you into battle? That just seems bad to me. But the cure to this all, win. You win games, no one's getting mad at Myles. Myles would be happy he's still here. Win-win. Start losing, I don't think it's going to get any better. It's going to get worse. So those are some updates on Cooper Kupp for Denver, Kirk Cousins for Atlanta, Myles Garrett for Cleveland. Okay. Live for an hour. We have a few super chats that just flew in. We'll get those on screen for you. Soul Train, they tolerate he's him because they're getting money from it. No, I don't think that's true. One, if he wants a super chat, sure. But I don't want to come across as someone that is quick to silence people that disagree with me. I think that's a slippery slope of, if you come for Petey, he'll block you. I've never blocked anyone on Twitter before. I will block like the porn DMs I get, which I've tried. They're not real. But no, I just don't want to give this impression, Soul Train, of like, if you say anything negative to him or if you disagree with him, watch out, he could block you. I want people to feel free to come in here and say I'm a big idiot. And knowing that that's not going to get them blocked. All right. 2 super chats here we'll catch up on. Byron Lewis on our Bronco stream. Cooper, just a one-time Pro Bowler. I'll pass if he wants $10 million plus. I agree, Byron. You and me are drinking the same Kool-Aid. He's been in the league for, I think, 8 years, and he has two seasons over 1,000 yards. I'm just not interested in paying someone for what they did in 2021 on a different team. I am interested in an $8 million contract for someone who has that ceiling. But north of that, no. And I don't think Denver's going to sign Cooper Kupp. Another super chat from Byron. Realistically, what running back do you see the Broncos landing in the draft? There's some buzz around Omarion Hampton from North Carolina. Wouldn't be the first time George Payton's taken a UNC running back in maybe round 2. I'm pretty sure Caleb Johnson met with Denver. That's the Iowa running back. I feel like picks 1 or 2 are going to be a running back. I don't think Genty's going to be there at 20. And maybe Denver trades up, but if Genty's going top 10, that might be too big of a jump. That would require giving up a future first. Trading up for a running back and giving up a future first might be an NFL first. I don't know if anyone's traded up and in the process gave up a future first round draft pick to select a running back. Because you got to ask yourself, what's better? Ashton Genty or say Omari and Hampton in round 1 at pick 20 and whoever you get in round 1 the next year. Let's say it was this year. Would you rather have Ashton Genty or Omari and Hampton and James Pierce? I just picked kind of an average first round player. I think a lot of GMs would take the 2. You could swap out Pierce for let's say Malachi Starks. I know that you signed Hufanga, but you know what I mean. A future first, I think for a running back is just be too rich. So I will predict Hampton, but I like Caleb Johnson. Riley, thoughts on Kenny Pickett claiming he's the starter? Good. You want someone who's competitive. You don't want a pussy in there. Imagine winning in front of the media, and he's like, so I'm just going to be really content with holding the clipboard and get my pom-poms out for whoever the real starter is. It ain't me, though. No, you want bad MFers who are going to go in there and go, I'm starting. You want the most competitive of the competitive. He didn't say that the Browns told him, you are our week 1 starter. That would be concerning. He's got some competitiveness. That's what you want in players. I thought that was a non-story. I'd be frankly surprised if he came out and said, hey, I'm really excited to be here to be a backup for someone. Get out, dude. I want someone here who wants to start. Doesn't mean you will, but I want that. And Mr. Haha with a $102.69 super chat. Show some love in the chat right now for Mr. Haha, putting the Falcons from 3rd to 1st with 1 huge super chat. Let's go. Surprise Mufaga. Thank you for always the increments that keep me on my toes. What's the meaning you think behind 102 and 69? I don't know, but I love it. Appreciate it. Thank you. You've been here since day 1 of free agency. At the end of the week, which is today, I'm going to tally up who the top 3 super chatters were and give big shout outs to them on our episodes throughout the next couple of days. Mr. Haha putting Falcons today on top in super chats. Let's roll. This mic, this headset. Every time I lean down, I hear the fuzz. Do they hear the fuzz? I hope not. I hope it's just me hearing it. Well, I don't care if you hear it. I just want to know. I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. Crap. I was just like, I hope I'm the only one hearing this annoying crackle. I'm very sorry. These aren't cheap or expensive. When we got robbed in Indianapolis, me and Sam, the executive lead producer, my new desk mate too, I got a new desk. So I'm back with the main bullpen. We went to Guitar Center. I'm not a music guy. I didn't grow up in a music family. I didn't play an instrument. I obviously knew it wasn't cheap. Basic microphones were very expensive. And I'm like, oh, this is not what I forecasted. So, yeah, kind of like 150 to 200. I thought it'd be like $50. You know what I mean? Like, I knew it wouldn't be just the price of a Happy Meal, but I didn't think it'd be 10x that. Okay. Oh. I like this from Ghostface. This ain't fair, PD, are big hitters. It just makes it sound like Ghostface, you're acting like this is a fantasy football team and your best players are all on a bye right now. You're like, this doesn't count. My RB1 and receiver 1 are both off this week. You know, it is free, though, Ghostface, and everyone else watching, liking the video. So hit the thumbs up button. We'll update the like numbers in just a second. But Falcons today is shot up to first place. Broncos breakdown, not far behind at all. And then the Browns report right now in third place. So if you would like to, get your competitive nature out while also supporting maybe one of your favorite channels, Super Chat, and whatever question, take, or idea you have goes on screen for everyone watching to see. Denver, by the way, pulling away just slightly in likes. Meanwhile, the Browns have a 1-like lead on Falcons today. So hit the thumbs up button down below if you haven't already. We have been live for over an hour. There have been no signings. Nothing. Zippity-doo-dah. You know how they rebranded Splash Mountain? I learned this. It's only in Orlando they rebranded it. Like, there's lots of Disney parks, of course, across the world. The other ones are still Splash Mountain. Which, to me, just screams hypocrisy of, like, if it was that big of an issue, why is it not a problem in, like, China or Tokyo, Japan? Or Paris?
It's funny. I was like,
Mr. Haha.
I hate when, like, oh.
Another $100 super chat from Mr. Haha.
He said.
Byron Lewis claps back with his $100 super chat. And then he's him. He just brought a twig to a tank fight. But I respect it, meaning you're at least going to go down swinging. It's kind of like the scene in Saving Private Ryan when Tom Hanks is shooting the pistol at the tank. Yeah. And then the U.S. fighter jet comes over and I think it bombed the tank, but it looked like a fighter plane. So they wouldn't have had bombs. Maybe I don't remember the plane well enough. Mr. Haha, another $100 super chat. Oh no, Braun Hose are too close. Let's make it a gap. Dude, this is kind of like you got a goal to put yourself up 2 with a minute to go, and then Denver gets an empty netter to bring them back within 1. Mr. Haha, thank you for the super chat. Love the competitiveness. Byron Lewis, though, not going to go down without a fight. Yeah, let me do it for the Broncos. I love it. This is some true Game of Thrones medieval time shit here. Of like, send in your best warriors. Let's see who can win. And I just enjoy kind of like being the viewer of all of it. And then he's him from our Browns channel. Mr. Haha, more like Mrs. Tears. You can get him all you want. Mr. Haha is dunking on you right now. I wonder how much, by the way, he's him has sent in super chats, because I think he only wants to do $2 because he hates me, but he still wants to get on screen. But he's definitely sent in a collective $200 in super chats. Soul Train with a $2 super chat. Appreciate it once more, Mr. Haha and Byron. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Love it. Soul Train. We have some news. A signing, a trade, or what? Signing. Can you give me the player? Ooh, the safety. I'm going to keep him close. Where did Marcus Epps sign? Give me NFC or AFC?
They all can see it now.
All right.
It is AFC.
He was on, was it the Jets last or the Ravens?
I thought it was the Raiders.
Or Raiders, you're right. I'm sorry. Him, Marcus May, and like the Marcus Williams, they all kind of blur together for me. He's definitely the Raider safety.
Oh my goodness.
I can't even wait to open my eyes now. Marcus Epps, Raiders to another AFC team, right? You know, I got to play the odds here. There's been one team signing a lot. Oh, you said AFC. Give me the Patriots. Oh, there we go. Play the odds. Holy smokes. Byron Lewis just sent in another $100 super chat. Sorry, Byron. I was not familiar with your game. Put your money where your mouth is, Mr. Haha. I also think there's some enjoyment, and let me know if you guys have both streams up, but they have no idea until I say something that a super chat has come in on a different stream because they can only see their chat. Byron, thank you again. Definitely in a good spot for this raffle. I hope if you do win, you've got a good spot for our Broncos. NFL Combine table marker. I know it's kind of a weird, quirky thing, but I honestly believe that it would make for a great little like story when you have house guests over. Like, oh, where'd you get that from? Well, let me tell you about day 5 of NFL free agency and Mr. Ha-Ha, because I had to get in a bidding war with this fucker, and then I won, and now I have this. So, Byron, appreciate it. We've got Soul Train with a super chat. We've got Hater with a super chat. Let's hit both these supers here. By the way, I have a feeling that Mr. Ha-Ha response is going to be like, you just woke up a sleeping giant. Yeah. He's going to come after like, this is going to be like Doolittle's raid. How many Office and World War II references do you think I can get into a live show? I think I'm at 5 right now. I've done this one, Doolittle's raid, Saving Private Ryan, when the watermark happened on the Office paper, and I'm sure there's one more I already forgot about. How important is drafting a free safety this year? I don't think too important. I like Ronnie Hickman. Now you gotta, Juan Thornhill's gone. It doesn't look like they're gonna bring back D'Anthony Bell, which I liked Bell. But happy that he has a UDFA. And there's the response. Is gonna have an opportunity maybe with Seattle. Saw he was taking a visit with the Seahawks. But I'd say that the Browns, with the 10 picks they have, are going to take a safety. Grant Delpit didn't look terrific last year and had an injury the year prior. And then Ronnie Hickman, jury's still out. Plus, you want to have a third safety to replace Rodney McLeod. So, Soul Train, I'd say day 3, watch for a safety. It could be as early as round 4. Thank you very much, Soul Train. We've got a few other supers. Let's get to these other supers. But Mr. Ha-Ha with a $120 super chat. I don't even know who's leading right now between Broncos and Falcons. I think Falcons might be by a smidge. Sam Brown's here. He's a Broncos fan. He's pulling for his team. Evan Ingram, best tight end of football. Mr. Lewis, you don't want it.
I just got my bonus.
It's March 14th. I got paid. We got paid today. It's always a great email. This is not gonna lie. That might be a raise the white flag and back off thing right there, because this could turn into quite the pissing match. Mr. Ha-Ha, thank you for your super chat. Rise up, dude. We have some other supers here. I think this chat over 5 days, combine all 3 super chats, all 3 channels, it might rival some teams in free agency spending. Whoever has spent the least, we might compete with. The Cowboys are usually that team. Haven't heard the Jags sign a lot of players. Right? They signed some guys? Okay. Haven't heard the Packers sign a bunch, which is pretty normal for them. They don't usually sign. Kind of tough to get players in free agency to come to Green Bay. Packers got to be up there. Those are like... Oh, you're right. The Niners, I mean, we can just look. Take a look. They haven't spent anything. All the other supers we're going to get to in just a second. Oh, right now, Hater. Tez Johnson tanked his 40 so the Broncos can get him. That's some 3D chess right there. I don't know if he would, but that was the slowest 40 time for anyone under 170 pounds since 2003. But with the pads on, the guy plays well. He was really good at the Senior Bowl, and scouts were there, and they saw that. And he's going to get drafted, I believe.
I was going to say, you are a big proponent of don't care about what you do in your underwear in Indianapolis.
So if I was an NFL GM owner, I'd implement a couple of things. Ready? PD's rule of football. 1, any field goal kick that is longer than 55 yards, I'm going to snap Byron Lewis. Cheese and rice. Let me get through my football, ways of life. Any field goal attempt longer than 55 yards, I'm going to snap the ball back an extra 2 yards so the kicker can get a longer run up. We take the points in the first half always. We do not burn timeouts to avoid delay of games. And I would take a scout and after maybe 2 or 3 scouts actually, have them watch all college football like their job requires, and then send them to Bhutan or like Tibet and have them live there from the day after the college football national championship until a week before the draft, so that they only know the prospects by what they saw when they actually played football, and not let combine underwear running and interviews sway them, or agents putting stuff out to reporters to improve their draft stock. And they come back from Tibet, and then they're like, why don't you guys like this guy? He was so good. Oh, you didn't see. Not a good 3-cone shuffle. Oh, who gives a shit? He was awesome. And they're like, the Tibetan 3 are right. That's what I would do. Okay. Hater, thank you for the super. Byron with another $100 super chat, Broncos country. Mr. Haha, I'm 100% disabled. Vet/federal worker, stop it. First off, thank you for your service. I have a little confession to make. I host trivia, which some of you might know, every Tuesday at a bar. And we have on our worksheet, if you're a veteran, let me know, and I'll give you 2 bonus points. I always give the veterans like 5 bonus points. I'm just like, so thank you for your service, first and foremost, and thank you for your support of the channel. Please don't put yourself in any trouble, though, with this. I don't want anyone having regrets tomorrow. Byron, shout out to you, dude. We have a couple other super chats here. Is Mr. Haha a veteran as well? I just saw Lav say, bro, it's 2 veterans. I don't remember Mr. Haha saying he was a veteran. And maybe Lav, he said that? Oh, man. You know what made this even better?
Pedro said it's prime Magic versus Bird.
Okay, Lav just said he's in the Army. I'm looking up. Oh, yeah. Re-enlistment. Okay, I see. So, I would love nothing more for Byron to be in the Navy.
That'd be awesome.
Army, Navy, super chat, looks like battle.
That'd be awesome.
Please tell me, Byron, you're in the Navy. Byron feels like a Navy name. That's a sailor name, right? Admiral Byron. That has a flow to it. Robert's a veteran. Thank you for all the veterans watching. Thank you for your service. It's a debt that we can never repay.
My dad's technically a veteran.
He served?
So he went to the Naval Academy for 2 years, and he was on a ship.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he was in Annapolis?
Yep.
And then left the...
He realized it wasn't for him.
Okay.
He loved it.
I just thought you were like locked into a certain amount of years.
No, you can go whenever you want.
Okay, I see. He was still in school.
He was still in school.
I got it. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
So he went.
I didn't know you went on ships when you were in school.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So he worked on a ship.
Played Battleship.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was. You would love my dad.
I'm sure I would. I got USAA. My grandpa was in the Army.
Everyone, all 3 of these chats, I think, know my dad. He hops around a couple of channels.
Yeah, Uncle Buck hops in.
Uncle Buck is my dad.
Okay, but I don't. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, to finish my thing. If you're in the Naval Academy, you're technically a veteran. So when it's like, oh, stand if you're a veteran.
Does he stand?
He should, but he doesn't like to.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him.
He's like, I technically I am, but his first freshman and sophomore year, and then he went to Penn State after, and that's where he met my mom. Because
I'm sure, like, if he stood and there were people there who served in like active military zones, he'd be like, "Oh, you too?" Like, not quite. Yeah, I don't want to say like I'm at the same level.
He did help the country.
Of course, yeah.
Not to the extent.
So this is what Browns fans want: QBs, Russell Wilson, Shedeur Sanders; RBs, Nick Chubb, Omarion Hampton, Jerome Ford; wide receivers, Jerry Jeudy, Byron's Navy. Oh. This is about to get way more competitive. It's Army for the Falcons, Navy for the Broncos. Which I feel like it'd make more sense if Broncos was Air Force, but I still like the Army-Navy duel. Wide receivers, Jerry Jeudy, Brandon Ayuk, Cedric Tillman, so no slot, tight end Njoku, Harold Fannin, and Blake, and offensive tackle, same. Okay. I don't know if anyone really wants this. I don't want the Shedeur part. I'll tell you that much. But the rest of it, I don't think it's that bad. We're going to say that, like, Russell Wilson's not my preferred choice, but Russell Wilson's better than other options. You haven't signed a quarterback yet, and there's not many good options remaining. You want Carson Wentz or Russell Wilson? I would think Russell Wilson, right? So, I get it. The Shedeur part, I'm with you on. I don't want to say he's trash. I don't think he's going to live up to second overall expectations. I think he could be a lot more successful if he went somewhere as a second-round pick that sat for 2 years and learned how to get the ball out of your hands during practice for 2 years and doesn't just get his confidence shattered when he's like, I can't be Superman back here in terms of like rolling around and holding on to the last moment until someone gets open downfield. I think Shedeur should really, for his sake, not that he has a choice in it, it'd be his best interest, not financially, but he's got plenty of money anyway, to go second round and sit. Sit. IDK, thank you for your super chat. And yeah, the no slot receiver could be something Cleveland pursues in free agency or the draft. Whichever one's next. From our Broncos channel, Jess Candy, trying to help Broncos country from Joplin, Missouri. Jess has been watching since day one. Thank you for the super chat and the support. Greatly appreciate it, Jess, and I love the contribution to the team's effort. We have a Brown super chat. Rank top 10 hottest celebrities. See, like this is like a he's him that I can kind of tolerate. 10's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of rankings right there.
Top 3?
Sydney Sweeney.
Oh.
Right, that's the 1-1.
No, not for me.
Who's your 1-1?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman, okay.
Zendaya's top 3 for me as well.
Yeah. I'll let the chat figure out the rest. Next one. By the way, Sydney Sweeney, I think, broke off the wedding plans with the engagement with her, so we all have a chance. There's 27.6 million victims of human trafficking. Yes. Christopher, I was in the KISS Army just for... What's the KISS Army? Am I dumb? Is this like me showing my young age? Chris, what's the KISS Army? I think there's a generation laughing at me right now. I don't know. Christopher, thank you for your super. We've got Mr. Haha on our Falcon stream. Oh, the band? Oh, I didn't know. Oh, I see. So KISS Army is what you call fans, people that like the band KISS. That's like what their nickname is? Okay, I never heard that nickname before. Wait, first Atlanta Beagles. Kyle Pitts needs to go. That's one way to split the room in half. What do you think is a bigger room splitter? Wearing like a MAGA hat or saying, I want to trade Kyle Pitts? You think so? I don't know. If you're in Atlanta, you say that. You walk around like Decatur or Atlantic Station going, trade Kyle Pitts. I don't know if you get beat up, but you're going to get looks.
Oh, I forgot to tell you.
Yeah.
Falcons chat, you guys might like this. Last week, I was walking down, I just left my apartment. I was walking down the street. We live in Dallas. I saw somebody wearing, across the street, a Michael Penix Falcons jersey.
Wow.
And I was like, what are you doing all the way out here in Dallas? But I was like, this is awesome. I haven't seen a Penix jersey yet.
Yeah.
It was cool to see in person.
I'm going to agree with Carson. I don't know if like Pitts needs to go. Pitts should go if the coaching staff plans to use him like they did at the end of last year. If we get out to the start of 2025 and he's being outsnapped by Charlie Werner, then you wasted $10.8 million and maybe the chance to get a good draft pick when you only have 5 picks this year.
So here's my take on Kyle Pitts. He's a great tight end. I don't think he's not good at football.
Okay.
I think he's a very good football player.
You're saying he's talented?
He's a very talented football player.
Yep.
Just not on the Falcons.
Is there a reason why?
I guess they're just not using him, not fitting the scheme. It's like
I know.
So he's a good player. It's just he's not an all-around good tight end for every single offensive scheme.
I hear you. After 4 years, there has to be some level of blame that falls on Pitts more than we probably are putting on it. 2 different coaches.
Is he going to change his
2
game?
different schemes. And he's gotten, I wouldn't say worse as the years have gone on. The yards have decreased, the touchdowns have increased. But I think we need to place more blame on Pitts.
It's like, yeah, but like, if you're, I'm gonna try and make a Colin Cowherd analogy.
Okay, go after it.
If I ask you, or I bring you over because I'm having a World War party.
Okay, World War I or World War II?
Both.
Both.
Just,
wow.
Yeah.
The Great War and the
Awesome.
second one.
Yeah, and you're like, oh my God, yeah, this is great.
Yep.
And we start talking about sports.
Fun fact: Italy was on both sides in both in one war and the other war. Go
and
on.
We start talking about sports instead.
Yeah.
Well, you're maybe well versed in that, or maybe we start talking about something that you're not well versed in, but you're still having fun.
Yeah.
But it's not what I'm not getting the best out of you. This is tough.
You lost me a little bit.
I lost you a little bit. But it's just, I'm trying to make an analogy of you're not being used in a setting
Yeah.
the best way.
The moment you brought up a world war, I started to think of World War I, and there was this.
I lost you in your.
There was this
there.
troops, this regiment, platoon. I don't know what the right word would be, but of the Italian army in the Swiss Alps fighting against the Austro-Hungarians. I think they were. Yeah, and they would have. They would just charge the other team's the other side's trenches in the middle of the night with just knives. No guns. They just bring knives. Wasn't super effective, but pretty scary. Dante Fowler signed? All right, we'll get that on screen. Mr. Haha, I'll slow it up then for a fellow service member. Active duty, by the way, PD, FYI. SFCJ Williams, I remember you from GW Brigade Sup Battle. Is this like a message? Like you're passing a message to another viewer here via Super Chat? Is this like what people did in the olden days? In my olden days, I mean like 20 years ago, when you'd put something like the classifieds or in the newspaper as like a hidden message for someone else to see? Or am I just not understanding the second part of this? But both of you and everyone that serves our great country, thank you so much for your Super Chat. Or for your service. Jared with a $20 Super Chat. Thank you for all service member Super Chats. If the Browns re-sign Chubb, do you think they'll give him a 2 or 3 year lower ball offer and then be like, if you retire at the end of it, we'll give you a retirement bonus? No. It would be like a qualifying offer or a 1 year vet min. I don't see any team giving Nick Chubb a multi-year contract. So, yeah, no. I think what could have happened is if Chubb retired and did not play this past season, the Browns could have not given him his remaining, I think, signing bonus, which they would have been in fair right to do. They're not going to pay someone who's not working for them anymore. But when Andrew Luck retired, the Colts paid out all of his remaining signing bonuses still. So if you're looking for me to half answer your question, in that scenario, they would have paid out the retirement, or not the retirement bonus, but the signing bonus. But I don't think so, Jared. Thank you for your Super Chat, though. Taylor with a $5 Super Chat. After Taylor's, do you want to look at the updated scoreboard? Between Byron and Mr. Haha, it is very close. I feel like the Pats might be interested in Kyle Pitts given Josh McDaniels' scheme and how much success they had with 2 tight end sets. Not a bad idea, Taylor. I could see that one. Who is the Patriots tight end right now? Is Hunter Henry? Hunter Henry, I think, is still their tight end. They had Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, but that was a few years ago. But I still think they have Hunter Henry. And he's still pretty good for them, actually. But I don't know. Let me look at the Patriots depth chart, who they have beyond that. They signed Austin Hooper, too. They might sign Austin Hooper as well. Their tight end is Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper, and then a bunch of no-neighbors. Actually, one guy on that roster is Giovanni Ricci. Browns fans, remember him? He was the fullback they signed last offseason from Carolina. Didn't make the team. I think he got injured. So, after signing Austin Hooper, unlikely, I'd say. You'd have 3 tight ends then. But if they didn't have Austin Hooper, I'd be on board with it, Taylor. Not that he should be a major needle mover for you. My Tennessee Volunteers tip off their first game in the SEC tournament in 15 minutes against Texas. We've been live for an hour and a half so far. Thank you for everyone that's watching with us right now. Let me kind of recap the news a little bit, and I'll start with Cooper Kupp. Reportedly kind of down to 5 teams while you're doing that. Reportedly down to 5 teams. So Broncos, Cowboys, Saints, Seahawks, Patriots. I don't think he's going to sign with Denver. I'm going to go predict he signs with Seattle. Kirk Cousins has that $10 million roster bonus coming up on March 17th, which is this Sunday. Atlanta is remaining at the same position that they do not want to release Cousins. I think they're trying to see if anyone will trade for him. It'll be very interesting to find out how serious they are, or were they bluffing the whole time about him being the backup. $10 million shouldn't be like an absolute make or break figure, but do you want Cousins as a backup when he doesn't want to be here? That's the bigger problem for me with Kirk, not the $10 million. It's not my money. And as for Cleveland, Myles Garrett had his press conference today. My reaction to it was he does not seem like someone who's super happy about getting $123 million guaranteed. It was not much of a party. It was kind of gloomy, to be honest. He took a lot of questions, and fairly so. He said he wanted out, and it wasn't about the money, and then he took a contract extension. Comes across as a hypocrite. But he says he's here, and he's excited and things like that. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I just think he realized he had no way out, and he might as well get a huge extension if he's going to be unhappy. At least have a bigger house while you're unhappy, right? And another Porsche. Okay, are we all caught up on the super chat? Okay. We'll do another free raffle entry, by the way. So just start warming up your fingers. Get the chats going a little bit here. I'm going to pick one person out of each chat for a free raffle entry. I took these from the NFL Combine, from the Broncos and Browns media tables. It's their table marker. It may be nothing to you. You might think it's kind of cool. I don't know. I just thought someone might enjoy it. So I just wanted to snag those and give them to some viewers. So Super Chat will add you to the raffle. If you're unable to Super Chat, not a problem. Just like the video and start being active in the chat, and I'll pick people at random out of the chat. I did not get one for Atlanta, so what I'm going to do for the Falcons instead is when I go to Vegas next week, I'm going to put $20 on them to win the NFC South, and whoever wins this raffle, if the obviously wager wins, I'm going to send you all of it. I could even just send you the ticket, and you can have it for the whole year, and if it wins, you can actually mail that to Las Vegas, and then they mail it back to you with your winnings. Okay, here's where we stand right now in the Super Chat battle. So, between Mr. Haha, and Byron, it is pretty close. Only $50-ish separating the two right now. And then the Browns report right now in a distant third. However, in the like battle, actually it's the same in the like battle as it is in the Super Chat battle. So, look at the like battle real quickly. First, second, third, again. So, hit that thumbs up button down below, which is completely free if you want to help your side out. I wish we had some more moves. What was Dante Fowler, what did he sign? With the Cowboys. Wasn't he with the Cowboys 2 years ago? I thought he followed Dan Quinn to the Commanders. Falcons legend. I thought he was with the Cowboys, then the Commanders, and now he goes back. Former first-round pick. Yeah. He's kind of having a weird career. God, I remember being a first-rounder. He was third overall. I remember him being third. And for being a third overall pick that was a flop, he's been in the league for a decade. So it's kind of a weird, like, he wasn't a good third overall pick, but he's been around for a long time and for a handful of teams. Jags, Rams, Falcons, Cowboys, Commanders. Did you guys see, by the way, the feud? Can you find the Twitter picture of Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence? Do you know what I'm talking about? And we'll just throw that on screen because that was fun last night. We got former teammates, former defensive linemen working side by side in the trenches together, taking grenades, going at each other's throats now. Yeah, Gardner Minshew went to the Chiefs to be Mahomes' new backup. So Wentz not returning. I don't know if that's just like we don't want Wentz again, or Wentz decided I want to go somewhere where I have a chance to actually start, and I think I can do that this offseason. Or maybe that's just his end of the time in the NFL. Joey Peterson, lock in, Petey. Go Vols. Go Vols, Joey. Right now, you're entering the Hornets' nest, though. A lot of UGA fans on Falcons today. I wore a Tennessee polo one time, or not even polo, like quarter zip. And there were people genuinely upset. They're like, I can't believe you wore that. You know, they're neighboring states, right? There are I have a lot of Tennessee friends, like friends from Tennessee that were from the Atlanta area. My fiance. Thought I saw that Bailey Zappi had gone to the Chiefs. Yeah, Bailey Zappi also going back to Kansas City, which for a while there I felt bad for Bailey Zappi when the Browns took him off the Chiefs practice squad because he could have gotten a ring, which I think if you play for a team for a while and you get traded away from that team, you can still get a ring, but not everyone accepts it. Who was the NBA player that was traded? Oh, Cavs fans, help me out. Who got traded from the Cavs to the Warriors and lost in the finals and was offered a ring but declined it? Why am I blanking? It was a big man. Who was it? Making great radio right now. Oh, crap. This is good trivia. This happens every so often, more so in the NBA. I don't know if in the NFL you actually can get a ring if you're only there for like 6 or 7 weeks. I think it was Anderson Varejao, right? Yeah. That's yes. It was not Andrew Wiggins. Yeah, he was. Drafted by the Cavs. Andrew Wiggins. Drafted by the Cavs. Traded for Kevin Love. Yeah. Anderson, thank you. Charlie Brown also got it right in our Broncos one. Desire Best is a Vols fan. Well, Desire Best, I'll keep you up to date. Mr. Haha, I am on my daily spend. Good. But this might sound crazy. I'm relieved to hear that because I don't want anyone having stress and like anxiety for what they did on the show here. This is supposed to be a fun place, not somewhere you leave going, what have I done? Did you guys see this last night? So DeMarcus Lawrence, Tank Lawrence, signed with Seattle, and he said that Dallas will always be home for him, which is true for a lot of players when they play with their first team for a while. They kind of, keep their house there and they go back there after their playing days are over. But he said he never thought that he could win a Super Bowl there. So people were quick to point out, so he went to Seattle? What are you thinking? Micah Parsons quote tweeted that and called him a clown. And DeMarcus Lawrence said, calling me a clown won't change the fact that I told the truth. Maybe if you are, I can't read it. Maybe if you spent less time tweeting and more time winning, I wouldn't have left. This league, we got some drama. I love it. Mr. Haha, tell Lewis I hit my daily donation limit from YouTube. Mr. Haha, if you really want to keep spending, you can do Venmo. We had that with Overlord, which I haven't seen him yet today, but maybe he's just working. But Byron, I was waiting to see if Mr. Haha was trying to run it up. We got to turn this into a Venmo battle now. Yeah. Ooh, how about that one? Yeah, so Reed wants to know who your favorite player is on your team. Favorite player.
It can be current or all time.
Current or all time?
Yeah, give both actually.
How about both?
How about both?
You know what? Let's do this. Put your favorite player in the chat, and this is what we'll do to pick 3 more entries for our raffle. Okay? So start putting your favorite player in the chat, and we'll pick 3 people out of the chat for free entries for our duck race raffle. No one wants to give me their... Unfortunately, I don't run Venmo. Soldiers run it up with Cash App. Okay. I don't have Cash App on my phone, so we'll just call it there. You've done more than enough. Soul Train says Josh Cribbs. Lav says Lindstrom. Chris says Tom Brady and Bo Nix. Those two don't really go together. I'm just existing says Sutton. EHYGL, great to have you back. Michael Penix is my favorite. Jeremy says Matt Ryan all time, but Jesse Bates right now. Good answer. Good answer. Danielle Gavorsky, Denzel Ward. Charlie Fry was not a name I thought I'd see. All right. I'm going to pick a name out of the chat. Let's start with the Browns chat, and then we'll go Falcons and then Broncos. So reverse order. So I'm going to pick a name out of the Browns chat. If I pick your name, you will be added to a raffle, which we're going to do, say at 3 p.m. 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. 4 p.m. Central? Yeah, I'm getting my time zones mixed up. Well, I don't know. 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. An hour and 20 minutes from now is what I'm trying to say. This is the Browns raffle item. It's from the NFL Combine. All right, I'm going to pick someone out of the Browns chat, and I'm just going to pause the chat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing it. And I've got Joshua Scholl, Corey Big Leg Bajorquez. He's been a great punter for them. So Joshua Scholl is in. Okay. Next up, our Falcons chat. So I'm going to pause the Falcons chat. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It didn't. God, it's freezing up on me. 1 second. Come on. All right. 3, 2, 1. Archangel, John Abraham. Archangel, John Abraham. All right, Broncos chat is up next. I'm going to go with someone out of the chat in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I've got Jerry saying Aqib Talib. Jerry saying Aqib Talib. I have 3 different chats going at once. My computer moves very slow. All right. Tennessee and Texas about to tip off, so who's ready to get a Tennessee watch party going with me right now? All right, let's just see what you guys are saying in the chat here. Zach says Drake London. Chris says Josh Cribbs. Archangel says Drake London. Broken Soul, O.J. Simpson. You know, his 1-year anniversary is coming up soon of his passing. Time flies. Kelly, Bale, why would you say that? Why would you say that? Not even playing Ohio State right now. As everyone begins to start putting together their brackets in their head, I'm just going to tell you this. Don't pick Tennessee to go very far. I would recommend you don't. March Madness is usually predicated on high-scoring guards. Tennessee has two in Zakai Ziegler and Chaz Lanier, and they can be streaky at times, especially Lanier, but they are a team that relies on their defense. And the tough thing with defense in March Madness is the whistles are much more frequent. And it can really sink a team that's like, this whole year we've done it this way. We have not had an issue, and now it's a problem. But Tennessee and Texas, the battle for the real UT is underway. These two schools have played a lot of basketball and just football and baseball the last couple of years. Well, not football, but just basketball and baseball. What's going on there? Robert says Champ Bailey is a favorite player. Callum says Julio Jones or Callum. My computer is literally moving so slow. Von Miller is not signed anywhere. So how many names you got so far in the raffle? You want to run through the names we have in the raffle? There's just not a lot of NFL signings and traction so far. Very little moves.
All right.
Oh, the Bucks are re-signing Sterling Shepard. That's one signing.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. We got, for the Falcons, we got E. Roberts, Kenner Drake, I don't know, Mr. Haha, Atlanta Beagles, Taylor Vaughn, and Archangel. For the Browns, we got Jared Brandt, I don't know, he's him, Rookie of They, Andy Gallis, Soul Train, Riley, Christopher Stofira, and Joseph Schull. Broncos, we got Michael Ronquillo, Robert 2424, Coach Chris, Kingston Powell, Crumble Cookies, Byron Lewis, Hader, Jess Kennedy, and Jerry. If I missed you, let me know.
2-2 so far between Texas and Tennessee. Just a minute and a half in. Michigan State, Tim, is looking very good. This is probably Izzo's best team in a while. I mean, he's always good in March, but now he's got a really good roster, too. I think my computer's literally about to break. Like, my mouse won't even move when I move it. It's that. Yeah, will the Broncos sign Cooper Kupp? Let me know. I don't believe they will. I don't think they will. And I've said this for, not for Cooper Kupp specifically, but for a while, that I don't expect Denver to make a splashy, and I think Kupp is splashy, wide receiver acquisition. It's always felt like Denver was more content with their receiver room than the public wanted it to be. So I don't think they will. If they do, and it's over $10 million, I'll be surprised, and I'll be less than enthusiastic about it. Joe Flacco, he met with the Giants yesterday. That might be the Giants' third option behind Rodgers and Wilson. Should we play a little bit of a quarterback carousel? Where do the following quarterbacks play? I'm going to give you a quarterback's name. You tell me which team they are on week 1, 2025. Let's start with Kirk Cousins. Where is Kirk Cousins going to play?
He is
a 3, 2, 1. Brown. I think the Falcons are gonna move on from him.
Yeah.
And I think the Browns would like to have Kirk over a lot of other quarterback options.
I just let's close our eyes.
Yeah.
Let's close our eyes and imagine Kirk Cousins backing up Michael Penix Jr. I can't see it.
I
can't see it.
I'm with you. Okay, let's do Aaron Rodgers. Where is Aaron Rodgers week 1, 2025?
Got it.
Take a second.
Oh, I
Review your
got it.
options.
I got it.
3, 2, 1.
New
Giants. I really want to say the Steelers.
I don't think he's going to the Steelers.
I think,
For one reason and one reason only, he can't control that team.
yeah, he wants to.
It's Mike Tomlin's team. He could control. He eventually was able to control the Packers.
Yep.
It took him a while, but he's not doing that again. He's too old.
Uh-huh.
He clearly controlled the Jets.
Yep.
He
Alan
puppets,
Lazard, Randall
strings,
Cobb,
Randall
Nathaniel
Cobb,
Hackett.
everything. He can control the Giant. I mean, Brian Dable, Joe Shane, they have no spine.
Yeah.
They'll do whatever they want to keep their jobs. They'll do whatever he wants to keep their job. And he's going to be able to do whatever he wants. If he goes to Steelers, Mike Tomlin's like, in classic Mike Tomlin meme, we do not care.
Yep. Okay, next one up. Russell Wilson.
Okay.
Where's Russ? Week 1, 2025. 3, 2, 1. Steelers. Oh. No interest in Russ. I like it. I like how you're just going against the grain a little bit.
I think it's waited out. Nobody signs him.
Yeah.
And then maybe beginning of the year, somewhere like week 2 or 3.
Right.
But I think the Jets go with
I think the Jets are Fields and
Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor. I think they're very happy with that too.
I think so too.
Yep, I'm with you.
I think the Steelers. I think the Steelers draft.
I've got one more. Ready?
Okay.
Joe Flacco. I've got mine. 3, Joe Flacco, week 1, 2025. 2, 1, Titans.
I think he's back on the couch.
Yeah, could be on the couch.
I think he's
The
back on the
Titans
couch.
need they have
Josh
Will
Miller.
Levis. Josh, thank you for your super. I think the Titans could look. I think they're going to draft Cam Ward, and I think they could see Joe Flacco as a very good, veteran to have around Ward for a year. Hope the Browns stay at number 2. They'll either get the best QB in Cam Ward or the best player in Abdul Carter. I'd be happy with either of them, and then get a running back at 33. If I had to pick a quarterback, I would take Cam Ward.
Yeah.
I agree with you there.
If you let Cam Ward sit for a year, I'm okay with that.
Abdul Carter with the foot fracture, stress fracture. If he runs and does everything at the pro day, that's probably going to ease a lot of nerves. And he said he would. So I'm not a doctor. I don't know if a foot stress. Is there a doctor here? I feel like I'm on a plane right now. Is there a doctor on board?
Is there a doctor?
Is there a doctor on the aircraft? Does a stress, by the way, the word stress fracture, I feel like is a silly-ish word for it because, just get less stressed, right? I know that's really simplified, but de-stress, take a bath. But does the stress fracture heal, or is it something that could, hang around for a while?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because isn't it best, a broken bone's going to heal and you're fine?
Yeah.
But, a muscle tear can take something away from you.
Greasy Flight said healing time is long.
Oh, Greasy Flight's here. Awesome to see you, Greasy Flight.
Going back to Cam Ward.
Yeah.
If he's there at number 2, I think you take him. I think you take him. You bring in Kirk Cousins. You tell Kirk Cousins you are going to start week 1. You are starting.
Yeah.
You are starting 2025 into 2026. You are our starter.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have to help out Cam Ward or mentor him. You can if you want to, but you'll be our quarterback for week 1, and then he'll be there for a year. Depends on how Kirk does. If he does well, year 2, Kirk Cousins again. Cam Ward still sits, and then Cam Ward year 3, or Cam Ward year 2 or 3.
I'm with you, the Cam Ward. Like, that's a quarterback that I can. The thing with Cam Ward, and I was doing some self-scouting. I compared him to like a Jameis Winston light, which the more I think about it, it's actually a very good thing. Because if it's toned down Jameis, less touchdowns, but more importantly, less interceptions.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest issue with Jameis. So that might actually be what you want in a quarterback if it's a Jameis Winston light.
Yeah.
I have some concerns with the, I won't say superhero tendency, because like Shedeur will run around the backfield for a long time. Ward throws the ball in places where it doesn't belong. But so did Brett Favre, and that worked out pretty well for him. So that's where I'm like, he's a gunslinger, and there's going to be moments of, what were you thinking? And then there's moments of like, God bless Cam Ward. But that gunslinger mentality has basically moved Jameis away from being a starter. And that's why I think that Ward, for a first overall pick, just like Jameis, if the turnovers don't go down, he's not going to be a starter for very long.
So that's why I think him sitting for a year, I think is important. That'll help with that.
Mm-hmm.
And
go ahead.
He's an athletic quarterback. I think he's pretty good. Experience too.
I'm just existing. PD, I'm playing Madden. Who should I put on Denver in your fantasies? Are you doing just like a fantasy like Madden draft, like an ultimate team, or not ultimate team, but how about? Are we talking about? Are you playing with the Broncos and you want to trade for someone? Let me know, because I have 2 different answers then. Desire best with a super chat on our Broncos stream.
This is hilarious.
You see Raiders chats. You see Raiders chat.
The Raiders chat.
Raiders chat said Raiders Super Bowl window is 2025. Yeah, they're delusional.
I mean,
I really do believe this, though. I think the Pete Carroll hire was a good hire. It's a grown-up hire.
Yep.
They went with Josh McDaniels trying to be like, ooh, we're the trendy offensive guru. And then they bent the knee to the players for Antonio Pierce because they didn't bring back Rich Bisaccia, which was a mistake. Now, I don't know if not hiring Rich Bisaccia was actually the mistake. The mistake was hiring Josh McDaniels. So they decided we'll run it back with AP, and that didn't last more than a season. And Pete Carroll's an improvement from all their head coaches from John Gruden to now. But I don't think they're actually anywhere near, I'd say, even the playoffs right now. They have a while to go to make the playoffs. By the way, for everyone asking, it's 11-7 Tennessee over Texas. There's nothing worse, though. I don't know what's worse in March Madness. Your team leading or your team trailing. Because leading, you feel comfortable, you feel good, but it's coming.
It's like a duck race.
But trailing sucks. You don't think you're going to come back. I don't know which position I'd rather be in at halftime. Up by 5 or down by 5.
Yeah, Falcons got Keith Taylor.
Oh, the fullback? Let me check twitter.com. Falcons. Oh, let's say fullback. Why did I say fullback? Cornerback, Keith Taylor. 1-year deal. So, cornerback, Keith Taylor, coming from the Chiefs. Who am I thinking of that played fullback a few years ago with a similar name? Well, here's some depth. I think when Atlanta re-signed Mike Hughes, we said there's still more work to be done here in the cornerback room. D. Alfred's a free agent, and a lot of your backups are free agents, so not a big surprise that the next signing was a cornerback. But I don't know a lot about Keith Taylor, to be honest, but let's learn about him together. Keith Taylor. My computer's frozen. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Trey. I was like, am I going crazy here? Jeez. I can't do anything on my computer. This is the consequence of having 3 YouTube streams going at once. But it hasn't been much of an issue at all week up until today. And now I'm going nowhere. I gotta go use my phone. Can hardly move the mouse. Joshua Miller with a super chat. Keith Taylor. What is there to know about Keith Taylor? He was a 5th-round pick in 2021 out of Washington by the Panthers. Was there for 2 seasons, then went to Kansas City. And in his career, he's got a forced fumble, a couple of recoveries. Okay. Keith? Did he get much time on the field? I don't think so. In his career, 5 starts, 45 games. Last year for Kansas City, appeared in 11 games. What's the most amount of snaps? His rookie year for the Panthers, he played 450 snaps. That was 41%. Last year for Kansas City, just 79 snaps. That was 11%. But he's been a contributor on special teams. A little bit. Kenneth, could you recap any Broncos signings since Evan Ingram? That would mean there were Broncos signings since Evan Ingram. They have not signed anyone since Evan Ingram. When they do, I will break it down. I promise you, Kenneth. Josh, Deshaun Watson stopped by a meeting with Russell Wilson Thursday. Thoughts? So Watson has been between Berea and Miami during his rehab, and these are approved travel plans for him. He's back in Berea right now, rehabbing his Achilles. So I don't know how much of an interaction they might have had. If I had to guess, it was probably like Barry and Stefanski walking around with Wilson, showing him the facility. And then Deshaun goes out and goes, hey, man, kind of daps him up. You know, they always kind of like the end of the game dap up where it's like, you know, love what you're doing, bro. Stay healthy, recover, you know, hope you get better soon. And then they move on. And they all think to themselves, that was awkward. So that's probably the extent of it.
How do you think Deshaun Watson feels knowing that the Browns are like probably moving on from him?
You know,
and all this QB talk, and he's like, guys, I'm still here.
I think Watson is more competitive than we realize. I think some people believe once he got 230 guaranteed, kind of checked out a little bit, and that's why his play has declined. The argument that I can come up with as to why that's not true is the guy got a huge tattoo on his back with a spot for a Super Bowl ring. I would not do that to my back. I will never get a tattoo, but I would never put a tattoo of a spot for a Super Bowl ring if I know in my head I'm going to work hard, but I'm not going to outwork everyone else. I'm not going to be the guy that gets up at 4 a.m. and goes on runs. I'm not going to have the Tom Brady diet. You know what I mean? If Watson was like, I'm going to come to practice and I'm going to work hard, but I'm not going to go to that extreme, maybe don't get that tattoo. That'd be my thought. So I think Watson probably wants to continue playing. He's not that old. He turned 30 a year ago. He's 31, I think. His birthday's in September. He probably wants to continue playing football. I don't know any team that would sign him. The baggage, the way he's played, coming off, do we say 2 Achilles tears? That might be career ending in terms of mobility. He's not going to play all of 2025. He might miss the next 2 years. Like, no one might sign him in 2026. And then 2027, he'd be 33, 34, and just no one has any interest at that point. I think his career might really be done. Who is Keith Taylor? Keith Taylor is a 5th-round pick in 2021 out of Washington by the Carolina Panthers. He has played on the Chiefs the last 2 years, and per Mr. Haha, he sucked in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. That's my Keith Taylor breakdown. It's a depth signing, I hope, and hey, that's fine. You needed more depth at the cornerback position. You had some free agents there. Still looking for a slot corner, though. That has not been satisfied yet. So do they wait for the draft, or do they find someone in free agency? I don't think this is it. I don't think you let D. Alford go for a worse corner. A couple other super chats coming in from Scott and Tim. We'll get to both those in just a moment here. Taylor Vaughn, do you see the Chiefs trading up in the draft given their blowout loss in the bowl? I wonder if... I don't think that blowout loss is going to send many panic waves through them. I wonder if Colston Loveland begins to slip if they move up for him. And they go, we're going to take Colston Loveland, and he's coming off shoulder surgery. We can almost let him miss close to the entire year. Maybe he comes in like the last third of the season, the last 6 weeks, because we know this is the end for Travis Kelce. What about Watson? Oh, you're thinking of the other tight ends in Kansas City? Yeah, but I think they want to aim a little bit higher for a new Travis Kelce. So I could maybe see them jumping up if they think Loveland could be. Loveland is, I wouldn't say reminds me of Kelce. That's not fair to Loveland. It's a high bar. But he's got that great separation ability, a great receiver. And if they don't need him to block, that could be a fun target for them to trade up for. Taylor, thank you so much for the super chat. Scott Herrera from our Broncos channel. Shout out to Scott, contributing to the Broncos, getting them over $400 in super chats. Appreciate it, Scott. Thank you so much. Tim Green, I can see the Browns trading back to maybe 7 and picking Armand Membo, offensive tackle from Mizzou. Your thoughts? This is probably one of the biggest draft risers. You go back to January, you hardly saw his name in a first-round mock. I remember making a joke, being like, I've never heard of this guy before. And then the Combine, the Pro Bowl, the Senior Bowl, all that has done him wonderful favors. I think his future is the 49ers at pick number 11. They really need help on the offensive line. He played right tackle at Mizzou. Does Andrew Berry want to pick another right tackle to play at left tackle? Or with Jack Conklin basically on a one-year contract now, is it okay to take Membo to sit him for a year and then have him replace Conklin in 2026? Maybe. That could work. I could get behind that. But my favorite offensive lineman in the draft is Will Johnson. The only negative thing people can come up with Will Johnson is he has slightly short arms. Oh, Will Campbell. Will Campbell. My favorite offensive lineman is Will Campbell. He was a true starter, starting left tackle as a freshman. He has not given up more than a sack since his freshman year. There's nothing really flawed with him tape-wise. You can always nitpick. The biggest, if you talk to any scout or anyone about Will Campbell, they're going to go, the short arms. A lot of teams, like the Niners, have a prerequisite of you got to have 33-inch arms to play tackle. We need that reach so you can engage defensive ends. Not have them come to you, you go to them. It worked at LSU. I think Will Campbell is going to be a very, very good offensive lineman. And if I had to pick one, he'd be my offensive line pick for pretty much any team. Because if it doesn't quite work at tackle, like I think it could, he'll be a great guard. Appreciate it, Green. Thank you so much for your super. By the way, Tim, can you shoot me back an email? I need a little bit more information on the shirt side of things. I don't want to leave you hanging there. Tennessee, by the way, leading Texas 19-14 with 11.5 to go in the first half. A 3 from the Longhorns is no good. Rebound in between the legs by the Vols. Here comes Jordan Gainey slowing things down, swinging it over to Meshack. Driving on the right side, nothing there, pulls it out. Meshack working in the wing on his left. Bounce pass in the draw. Let's go. Chaz Lanier cutting through the middle of the paint. Finishes off the glass. So 21-14, good guys.
Something to note. This is sort of just NFL news. The Eagles signed another tight end.
They trading Dallas Goedert?
Are they trading Dallas Goedert?
They might be looking to trade Goddard. Who was the first tight end they signed?
Bryant.
Oh, Harrison Bryant.
Harrison
yes,
Bryant.
thank you.
I'm
yes.
going to find that one right now.
Yep. Josh, I did not say I just didn't watch the second half of the Kentucky game. I didn't have TV privileges last night. We watched HBO White Lotus, which I like this season of White Lotus.
See, we got Harrison Bryant.
I won't spoil it, but this is, I think if you're a White Lotus fan, this is my favorite season of the show so far.
Yeah, I saw an article.
Bash, no updates on Cooper Kupp. The latest would be Diana Rossini from The Athletic said a decision could be made today, but that's pretty much all we have to go off of. I've got 5 teams that he could end up in. Dallas, which I don't believe, but Adam Schefter put that out there. The Saints, which I really don't believe. Broncos, Patriots, Seahawks. I think it's down to Seattle and New England. I think the question is, does he want to stay on the West Coast or go across the country and get maybe an extra $1 million or $2 million in salary? I think he's going to sign with the Seattle Seahawks. Taylor, will you ever do a live stream at the Cowboys practice facility? No. I don't cover the Cowboys. I don't think it'd be really worth the squeeze. Yeah, bring all of our equipment out there. I don't think the Cowboys would permit us to just, post up and start streaming there. One time I went to the Cowboys. They practiced at the Star in Frisco, which is about. The thing of Dallas, like on a clock, if Dallas is in the middle, Frisco is at like 11 p.m. ish, and it's about a 25-30 minute drive from Dallas. But the stadium is in Arlington, and Arlington to Frisco is like, I don't know, 40 to 45 minutes away. So a lot of the Cowboys players live up near Frisco. Almost all of them do, actually. And one time I went to the Star just to check it out. They've got a lot of restaurants and bars around there, and there's like a mini field in the middle with some turf to like throw the football around. But you can go into the like indoor practice field they have, and we went in there, and there was some like corporate event going on. They had to rent it out. But we were just walking around, and then someone's like, "Can we see your wristbands?" I was like, "I don't have a wristband." Like, "Oh, this is a private event." I was like, "Oh, sorry." So, didn't get any free apps out of it. Yep, the Falcons signed a cornerback from the Kansas City Chiefs. Austin just joined in the chat. Well, Danny says Colston Loveland will be gone by then. I was talking about a trade up for the Chiefs, though, not him falling all the way to 32. All right, it was just a nice lead, and now it's a 1-point game. 23-22, Texas on a little bit of a run. This is why leads in March Madness are never satisfying. Come on, Gainey. Driving the lane, picking up his dribble. Out it goes to Meshack, back to Gainey. Pump fake 3. Elbow jumper off the front iron, but he gets the foul. Kupp to the Chargers. I think Keenan Allen's going to go back to the Chargers. I saw Mike Williams went back to the Chargers. I missed that. I saw on Twitter or something. I was like, oh, I missed Mike Williams re-signing there or coming back. I think Keenan Allen's going to go back to L.A. I think there were only 2 teams he would go play for. The Bears and the Chargers. And I don't think the Bears and the Ben Johnson have any interest in him. Gainey's first free throw is good. There we go. Josh, I stayed up till 1 a.m. No game should start at 10:45. 10:45 Eastern. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. All right, let's do... What's going on? You got development?
T. Higgins and Jamar Chase will receive over $70 million per year combined when the Bengals finalize their extensions, per Diana Rossini.
Over $70 million combined? Well, that'd be if it was even Stevens, it'd be 35-35.
Should not be.
It won't be even Stevens, so that would mean 40-30.
Probably.
Man, the Bengals.
That's that.
If the Bengals
can they do that?
If the Bengals had just done it when they should have, they could have extended T. Higgins for $25 million a season. Now they're paying $30 million a season, and that's $30 million over like 4 years probably. So that's an extra $20 million. And if they had extended Chase when they should have, instead of $40 million, it'd be like $33-ish million. They had beaten Justin Jefferson to the punch, but they didn't because they don't want to give guaranteed money beyond the first year, which they've only done for Joe Burrow. And Trey Hendrickson they could have gotten for $28 million if they were smart as well. But they're broke bitches. We've got Taylor with another super chat. Taylor Vaughn is single-handedly making a comeback for the super chat battle today. Pete, have tried tight end sports bar in Dallas? No, I haven't. I have not tried tight end. I haven't heard of this bar. I'm always looking for a good sports bar in Dallas. Chat Sports is based in Dallas. I'm not from Dallas. Moved here for the job. My knock against Dallas, I have 2 knocks against Dallas. One, when visitors come in from out of town, There's not really a cool thing to take them to other than here's where JFK got shot. That's kind of like there's a museum there. I've been there twice. There's not a ton of really cool landmarks to be like, we can go here the first day. That's my one knock. The second knock is the sports bars are not sports enough. They play music instead of game audio, right? Or they don't have a great TV setup. There's a sports bar next to where the Mavs and Stars play called Hero, and they've got this big, ginormous screen. I went there for Ohio State, Texas. That game wrapped up at like, say, 10 p.m. I think even earlier. It's supposed to stay open till 1 a.m. I think all the waiters just decided we kind of want to go home, and they said, we're closing. I had planned to be there past the game ending. I had nachos and food and drink, like, early in the stages of eating them. And they're like, you got to wrap it up and go. And I was like, well, the first time she came around and she's like, we're closing kind of early. And I'm like, why? And she's like, oh, the ice storm, which Dallas every year gets a bad ice storm. The ice storm, by the way, for reference, was 2 days prior. This game was on Saturday, and the ice storm was like on Wednesday, Thursday. And I literally said to her, that was 3 days ago. And she's like, came back the second show. She's like, are you still working on the nachos? I go, of course I am. You gave it to me 15 minutes ago. She came back the second time, took them away. Gone. And I had to chug my beer on their patio as they literally locked the doors behind me. I was pissed. That's my beef with Dallas. There's the JFK Museum where he got shot, and there's not a great sports bar scene. I wish there was. No, but my beef is with the fact that that's the coolest historical thing. Andy, I like the bars that play the game audio and then music during the commercials. That's probably the best outcome. It's got to have game audio. I need the broadcast. I won't go out somewhere if it's a good game and there's no game audio. Everyone at work laughs at me. I go to B-dubs for Thursday Night Football. I know what I'm getting. It's bad service. I like the wings, and there's game audio. And that's that. I'm just existing. Go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I do. The issue is B-dubs in urban settings, or I should say chain restaurants in urban settings, they're not managed well. I had this belief that chain restaurants in the suburbs, like B-dubs, Chili's, Texas Roadhouse, all those chains, Texas Roadhouse is not in the city, they are so much better within the suburbs because they have like suburban moms who are so willing and able to complain on Facebook and the Nextdoor app that they keep those places in check. They don't let them run wild because they'll start complaining. There's none of that in the urban chain restaurants. It's the Wild West when you walk in there. Most of the time you seat yourself. So I need to ship down some suburban household moms, housewives, to just stay-home moms and police the managers of B-dubs to get them in order. One time at B-dubs, ready for this? I'm not making this up.
Christopher Savio sent a super chat.
We'll get to it in a second.
Okay.
I see the supers. One time at B-dubs, they kicked us all out because the bathroom wasn't working. It was halftime of Thursday Night Football, and they came over like, we have to close out. Bathroom's not working. I'm like, what? Like, yep, got to go. Another time, there was no heating whatsoever in the middle of December. It was cold to eat your food. Like, it was 50 degrees below in there. And my favorite is all the same beat-ups in Dallas. My favorite beat-ups experience was one time. I'm going to do a quick story tangent. I don't care if I kill my viewership. It's my favorite story. I went to B-dubs for Titans-Packers Thursday Night Football 2023. It was a boring game, you might remember, in November. And I brought my fiance Shay, at my time my girlfriend, and she was a good sport, but doesn't really want to be there. And I was like, we can leave at the end of the third quarter and watch the rest from home. And she's like, yay. She likes to go there and get the cheese curds. So we're about to leave, and all of a sudden, 4 girls walk in. They look like they are dressed for a Manhattan nightclub. They are wearing short black leather dresses, and they look no older than 19. And it's 4 of them. They brought table decor. They brought like the thing that's like the wavy thing that goes on the table when you turn it on. And it's B-dubs for Thursday night, and there's no more than 10 people in the restaurant. So I immediately am perplexed. Why are these 4 what looks like high school girls with fake IDs at a B-dubs? So what do? I call the waitress over, and I was like, I'd like to send those 4 girls a shot. But here's the kicker. I don't want you to tell them it's from me. I'd like for you to send them a shot, but tell them it's from the old man sitting by himself at the bar. Because they're going to be so excited for a moment that someone sent them a drink and then see where it came from and be so deflated. And she's laughing and giggling. She's like, I'm in. And she starts to walk away. I'm like, come back. One more thing. I'd like for you to send the old man at the bar a shot as well and say it's from the girls. And she's like, okay, I'm in. She is all in on this. She gets the bartender in on this. We don't care about the Packers-Titans game anymore. I think it was like one of Will Levis's first games. We don't care about that anymore. We're watching this. So, perfectly executed. She brings the girls their shot. And I can see on their faces the excitement of like, whoa, first time using our fakes. By the way, red card, they all got cocktails at Buffalo Wild Wings. I did not even know they served cocktails there. I just thought it was strictly beer. And when I see the waitress point to the old man, immediately all their faces went down. Then, moments later, the shot goes to the old man. He asks where this came from. Bartender points, turns around, looks back, pushes the shot glass forward, not interested. And that was my favorite beat-ups experience. Okay. We have some supers, enough of story time. Believe me, by the way, I'm not going to hold you hostage. If there's NFL news, I will obviously jump to that immediately. There's just no news right now. Vincent Cuts, the Falcons did sign Keith Taylor. This is the tough thing is people join the stream after I already say something. So I don't want to just keep repeating myself, but I also know not everyone was here the first or second time I said it. But yes, Atlanta signed Chiefs cornerback Keith Taylor. We talked about that one. Okay. Christopher, any decent tight end left in free agency? Jordan Akins? Probably the best one. I can't really think of a better one. I not anyone that's decent where you're like, ooh, that's a needle mover for me. The short answer is no. Not that I can think of. Tyler Conklin from the Jets. Juwan Johnson signed. It wasn't a lot of good free agents out there anyway, tight end. Maybe Tyler Conklin from the Jets. I'd rather have Jordan Akins, though. A $20 super chat from EHYGO. Why is the most rumored move for Atlanta trading for Trey if this draft is strong on D-line? Why are we not showing for all-star DBs like Sauce Gardner or Jalen Ramsey? Given the draft projection, I would rather have Sauce. You're not getting Sauce from the Jets. They don't want to move him. Now, players do get traded unexpectedly from time to time, but that one seems like a little bit of a reach to me, whereas Hendrickson's requested a trade. So there's known things and there's unknown things, and Trey Hendrickson is a known thing. The draft is an unknown thing. So that could be something where the Falcons go, we could get someone at 15, but no guarantee that guy's going to put up 17.5 sacks at any stage of his career. Hendrickson's done it back-to-back years. He led the NFL in sacks a year ago. So that's why there's the rumors for Trey. As for adding a corner like Sauce or Ramsey, you're paying A.J. Terrell top 5 money. I don't know if you're going to want to pay 2 corners top 5 money. And Sauce is going to get top 5 money very soon. And Ramsey's kind of old. So neither of those players have requested trades, and neither of those teams, I think, want to trade those players.
Oh, shoot. Breaking news.
Breaking news?
Bills defensive end, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Gregory Rousseau?
No, Michael Hawk.
Oh, they just signed him from yeah, go on.
And defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi.
Yeah.
Both signed this week, have been suspended 6 games for violating the NFL's PED policy.
Yikes.
What are we doing?
Okay. So the Bills must be
Nick
upset about this.
Nick Roloff, the host of Dolphins Today by Chat Sports, quote tweeted it saying, LMAO, Bills signing cheaters.
Bills adding 2 players who immediately get suspended. That might void their contract? I don't know. Maybe the Bills could get out of it? Tough day for Brandon Bean up in upstate New York. Taylor, next time I am in town, we'll take you and Reed there. My treat. It's Hooters on steroids. I have a slight Hooter story. It's not quite Hooter. It's a Twin Cities story. Oh, yes, Twin Peaks. In college, we would go to Twin Peaks for Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, but we called it Titty City. And that's why I said it, yeah. And my friend's birthday, senior year, I had 5 roommates, 5 of us in one apartment, and 2 of them had the same birthday. And for their joint birthday, we were going to go to Twin Peaks. They wanted to go there for dinner. And we're like, great. One of the 2 birthday boys had his family surprise him and come visit Knoxville that day. Me and another roommate were on the balcony. It was a nice warm day, and we were having drinks and having a cigar on a Saturday. And we did not know that the family, grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, and 3 younger siblings all came to surprise my roommate, and were all in my living room while we were on the balcony. So my roommate with me on the balcony was like, when are we going to go to dinner? I was like, hopefully soon. I'm hungry. So he just opened the door, and he's like, when are we going to Titty City? As he looked at my roommate's grandmothers in the eyes. I was curious why no one responded, because the door was blocking me. So I poked my head around. I was like, are we going soon or what? And then I saw the whole Daughtry family in our living room, which we still had our Christmas decorations up, and we had a keg as like the base of the tree, and we decorated the keg. So we were not prepared for grandma and grandpa and elementary school kids in our apartment. Taylor, I'm excited for this, but I'm also, I wouldn't say scared, but like intrigued does not do it justice. Maybe it is scared. Like, I don't know what to expect out of this. Appreciate it, Mr. Vaughn. Thank you. He's him. Pete is a rude customer. I don't agree. I think we have another one from He's Him. Sounds like a setup for a Blue Pill Men video. It's a B-dubs, dude. I don't think anyone's ever been drugged at a Buffalo Wild Wings. Jackson Finley, did the Browns sell Myles on magic beans, or do you think they have a legitimate plan for the Browns moving forward? Not a huge fan on Russ. Judy's not a fan. I believe the Browns did not sell him on magic beans. I think they sold him on, we're not trading you. What are you going to do about it? Sit out? And Garrett's like, no. If you really won't trade me, I'm not going to sit out and take a bunch of fines. Kind of like really tarnish my legacy of like, I'm the guy that sat out and missed a whole year. And then I have another year of my contract after that. So I'll just take the extension. The drawback is you toss this grenade into your locker room where Garrett's supposed to be the team captain, the leader, and he said point blank, I don't believe in the direction we're headed. It's really tough to walk back. As for Russ, I agree. I'm not over the moon about him either. I think he's just gotten worse and worse as the years have gone on, and it's 100% going to result in Russ at some point getting benched for Kenny Pickett, at which point Browns fans are just going to, put a bullet in their skull. So Judy will definitely be very upset by this. Jackson, thank you so much for the super chat. We got Robert with the super. Robert on our Broncos channel. After this Robert one, do you want to show an updated super chat and like battle? Do Broncos win the division? Do Chiefs miss playoffs? No and no. Not this year. At some point, there'll be a changing of the guard, right? Chiefs are not going to win the division forever. The Patriots did not win the division forever. But they sure won it for a long time. And the Chiefs are, at a decade of winning it? 11 straight years of winning it? I don't think this will be the year. I just don't think in year 2 for Knicks, he can quite slay that dragon. Not to doubt him, but I think it might take a third year in the NFL. You might really start to hit your stride and go, we were close last year. This is the year. So I'm going to say Denver's first AFC West Division Championship, whatever, won't be until, or next one won't be until 2026. Thank you very much for the super chat, Robert. And the Chiefs, I don't believe missed the playoffs, but I will say this. I think they do not reach the AFC Championship game. I do think that loss might rattle them a little bit, and they go, all right, we're no longer just perennial AFC Championship game merchants. I think they will win the wild card game and then lose in the divisional round to the Bills or the Ravens. Robert, once more, thank you for your super chat. We have one more coming in on our Browns channel, but first we'll look at the updated super chat totals. Tennessee, with 2 minutes and 43 seconds, are leading the Texas Longhorns 37-33, and Meshack is at the charity stripe with 2 shots. So Falcons today has made a comeback on the Broncos in super chats, and the Browns are up at $102 now. So thank you to everyone who has super chatted. Like I said earlier, but if you weren't here, we're going to do a duck race in 28 minutes and 8 seconds. The duck race will be 3 duck races. Our Browns duck race, which anyone that super chats on the Browns channel will get entered, gets this Browns NFL Combine table marker. I thought it was cool. I snagged it on the way out of the Combine. You might think it's cool. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I got this one for the Broncos as well. I couldn't get the Falcons one, so what I'm doing for Atlanta is when I go to Vegas next week, I'm just going to put $20 on the Falcons to win the NFC South next year, give you the ticket, and if it wins, it's all yours, right? If it loses, it's all my loss. So just a fun way to keep you even more engaged throughout the 2024 season as if you wouldn't be already. Browns overtaking the Falcons in likes. Broncos holding on to the lead still, though. So very close right here. I feel like Steve Kornacki, that's his name too, right? On election night when he clicks on the counties and you see like the votes and you compare him to, imagine if you compare him to like yesterday's live. But yeah, Browns pulling away. They're making a bigger push for first place compared to trying to get away from third place. 3-point field goal, no good. Rebound Meshack, 2 minutes to go. 39-36 Vols. Meshack at the top of the key, driving right side, spinning in the lane, shot up, couldn't get anything. Taken by the Longhorns. Minute 49, here comes the boys from Austin. Robert, oh no, you already got that super chat in. I got duped. Long jumper, rims out, rebound, Tennessee. 90 seconds to go in the first half of the quarterfinals from Nashville in the SEC tournament. Gainey slowing things down. Directing traffic. Looking, swings it out. Along the perimeter it goes. 7 seconds on the shot clock at the top of the key. Milicic gets it away. Long three. That doesn't get anything. He was looking for the call. He doesn't get it. And now Texas will get a possession with a minute 4, down 3. Bad shot by Gainey. P. Diddy, how do you feel about Shedeur and... Yeah, P. Diddy, good point. So this is, what's his first? Travis Bazana. He was the Guardians' first pick in the draft. He's from Australia. He's a baseball player. And he got his first hit in the Australian League or something. I don't follow Australian baseball. But Shedeur Sanders shared a video of that first hit to his Instagram story. And it's like, that's really strange. Unless he is so determined in belief that he's going to Cleveland, he's always trying to, win the fan base over. Which I like that. If you're like, I know where I'm going and I want to be loved by the fans, I want to show them love, so I'll embrace that city's other teams. I think that's a great move. I like that. So, if Shedeur is doing this out of the not the kindness of his heart, but with good intentions of, hey, the Browns told me they're going to take me at number 2, so I'm already going to kind of start playing on Zillow, and I'm going to start, supporting the Cavs and the Guardians because that's what the quarterback of the team does. They buys into the city. I like that move a lot. I don't know if that alone is going to make me believe, done deal, he's a Brown.
Do you think maybe he's like doing all this not to stay relevant, but to stay like his name being around in the media so that he kind of stays around going top 3 type of thing?
I'm trying to think of different angles that this can be coming at. Like,
because he's not somebody that needs to stay like he's Deion Sanders' son. Like,
what's the angle or what's the purpose of a smokescreen for Shedeur making other teams think he wants to go to Cleveland? I don't really know what that could accomplish. I'm sure there's something that could be said for that, but I can't think of what does Shedeur have to gain by making the Giants think he wants to go to Cleveland. If this was free agency, that'd be one thing. That could maybe up the Giants' offer for him, but it's not.
I love how Adam is clearly from the Raiders report, and he's spamming in the Denver Broncos chat.
Right,
and everyone's like, nobody cares.
You want to just like put him in timeout? Because I just hate when people spam. Texas got a buzzer beater too to make it a 3-point. I said I'd rather, I don't know if I'd rather be up by 5 or down by 5 at the half. And 3-point game keeps Tennessee on their toes, 41-38. Should we pick one more round of names out of the chat? All right, spam anything in the chat right now. I'm going to pick 3 people from our Browns, Broncos, and Falcons chat for a free entry into our duck race. Christopher, is Tennessee basketball better than football team? Go Bucks. You're picking the wrong sport. Tennessee baseball is better than all of them. Defending national champs, baby. Dingers only. Just in time with a $5 super chat. All right, after we pick Archangel with a super chat? I missed that. I'm sorry, I didn't see that one pop up. All right, let me pick a name out of the Falcons chat first. I've done Broncos first, Browns first. Now I'm going to do Falcons chat first. I'm going to pick someone out of the Falcons chat for a free entry into our raffle, which will be for a ticket or a bet slip from Las Vegas, which I'm going to next week, for Atlanta to win the NFC South. All right. Going to pick someone out of the chat in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing it. And, didn't work. 1 second. 3, 2, 1. Pausing it. I've got Trey1222. Trey1222. All right, next up I'll do Broncos. Broncos country, just start spamming anything. I'll pick someone out of the chat next for Denver. Kev Dog, Petey's from Japan. I think Kev Dog saw my reply to someone on Twitter. I'm not from Japan. I did spend 5 years in Japan, though. I lived there from kindergarten to 4th grade, 2003 to 2008. Okay. I'm going to pick someone out of the chat in our Bronco stream in 3, 2, 1. Pausing it. And I've got Timothy Gold. Timothy Gold. And now our Falcons, our Browns channel. Browns stream. Browns channel. I'm going to pick someone out of the chat in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing it. And I've got John Schwesser. John Schwesser. S. John S. Should we peek at the updated Super Chat battle? Oh, we have some Super Chats. All right, let's get to the Super Chats. No signings as of late. Cooper Kupp, if you are just joining as of late, is expected to make a decision today, which I was hoping could happen in the live show. That'd be extra fun. But as of now, nothing. Jackson Finley, thoughts on us trading up into the first to get Hunter and Shedeur AB said he sees Hunter as a wide receiver. Jackson, I'd say that's impossible because of where these two guys are going in mock drafts. But my unpopular draft opinion is I think both Colorado players are going to fall more than people think. I think with the league kind of split on what Travis Hunter is position-wise at the next level, I have a tough time thinking someone's going to use a top 5 pick on a player if they just plan to use him at corner or receiver, when the best part about him is he plays both sides. And I don't think he as a corner or a receiver is like a top 3 pick. I think Travis Hunter is going to fall a little bit more than people realize. I also think Shedeur Sanders has like 2nd to 3rd round talent written all over him. But it's, a draft with some really desperate teams for a quarterback, and he's got a very cool profile. And he's got the last name Sanders. So I could see the Browns probably going Travis Hunter first and then trading up for Shedeur. If it had to be one first, the other one second, it'd be Hunter first. Maybe what they would do is they trade back from 2. If a team really wants Abdul Carter and the Browns fall back a few spots and they get Travis Hunter, I don't know, 5, 6, or 7. And then with the extra draft picks they acquired from that, they trade back into round 1 for Shedeur. But thoughts on it? Not likely. Obviously, that's a lot of moving pieces and something I don't think I'd want the Browns to do.
Sometimes I feel like we should do like a comp of this player's stats and physicals.
Yeah.
This player's stats and physicals. Random names, don't show their names. Don't
blind
show
resume.
Blind resumes, and be like, would you rather want? And then you start to give them little snippets of personality like that, but no last name, no nothing. He's not a bad quarterback. He has good stats. Completion percentage.
Yep, through the roof.
Not a huge arm, but there's a lot of people in the NFL that are like that. But it's just like the way that the draft is kind of laying out of
right.
It's not Jaden Daniels, Drake May. We got blessed last year with a plethora of really, really good quarterbacks.
Not the case this year.
And then it's just not good this year. So I don't know.
Next super chat. Archangel, longtime viewer on our Falcons channel. Who might be willing to trade up with us for 15? I think Denver. I think if the Broncos really want a running back or, say, tight end Colston Loveland, they might feel the need to move up some spots and feel that, hey, we satisfied a lot of our roster holes in free agency. We've got a good amount of picks. I'd say a normal amount of picks. We can afford to move up. I could see Denver going from 20 to 15, especially if Genty, Warren, or Loveland is there. Loveland, I don't expect to go top 15, but if Warren goes very early, like if Warren goes to the Jets at 7, then what if the Broncos are afraid, hey, he might not get to us at 20 now? So they kind of wait it out a little bit, exercise some patience, and then make the move up at 15 for Atlanta. Another spot I could see, what about the Chargers? What if the Chargers at 22 want to leapfrog Denver to get Colston Loveland? The draft is so unpredictable. But those are 2 teams. Maybe the Packers. What if Green Bay really wants to get their favorite edge rusher after Abdul Carter or another guy? That could be a possibility. But it's just so dependent on who could be falling and then who behind Atlanta really wants that player. Are we all caught up on supers with that last one? I think so, right? Fox to Atlanta. Timon, I think it's the former Giant. I don't know Morgan Fox. Why is this a huge tweet from Peter Schrager? Morgan Fox is signing with the Atlanta Falcons, sources tell Rap Sheet, Tom Pelissero, and Mike Garafolo. Deal is 2 years and can get over $8.5 million. I've never heard of Morgan Fox. Falcons signed another pass rusher. Morgan Fox. I don't think I can even do a breakdown of this in the live show. My computer literally is frozen. Yeah. I typed in Morgan Fox. I tried typing Morgan Fox, but it wouldn't go. So I did MRGAN Fox. And you can guess who Google thinks I'm talking about. Megan Fox. Morgan Fox. Football defensive end. The Falcons have signed a Chargers defensive end named Morgan Fox. Let me tell you everything I can find out about him. Morgan Fox, former UDFA out of Colorado State Pueblo, 30 years old. He was, God, my computer sucks. He's been with the Chargers for the last 3 years. How about this? Guy has not missed a game since 2019. Has played in every single game since then. Now, he's played in 120 games. He's only started 34. So, not huge starting expectations level. His last few years, 3.5 sacks, 5.5 sacks, 6.5 sacks. So, this is a depth edge addition. Not expecting him to have a meaningful role on defense, but Lorenzo Carter's a free agent. Matthew Judon's a free agent. You needed some new backups at this position. No. We'll do this after the live. So, Morgan Fox, welcome to Atlanta. I'm going to do a video breakdown on this after this live show ends in 12 minutes. What's wrong? I can't see shit.
Oh.
Everything's frozen for me.
Everything's frozen.
Yeah.
Everything's frozen for Mr. Peterson.
Can't see anything
We
right
will
now.
show him what is going on in the Broncos chat. You ready?
Yeah.
Michael!
$50 super chat from Michael Ronquillo. Great live stream covering the NFL free agency. Michael, you have been one of the biggest supporters of our live content. Thank you so much. I've seen your name in the chat for so long. I cannot express my appreciation enough for all of your generosity and support. Everyone spam Michael in the chat. Show the guy some love for everything he's done for us. Michael, thank you. Vincent, I'm sorry. Who the heck is Morgan Fox? Yeah, that's the reaction we all had. Like I said, I'm going to do a full video breakdown on this signing and the cornerback signing. I'll kind of combo those two after this live ends in 11 minutes. It's just, I can't operate with my computer frozen from having 3 different streams up at once. Jake, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay. Should we show the updated super chat total? And we have a few more. Demented Tree from our Bronco stream. Where my Rays at? Been carrying the show. Dude, I'm asking myself the same question. You and me, buddy. Robert, I was here first. Demented Tree, true Bronco fan. Maybe you guys can co-host the show. I can produce. Little 3-man band.
So
And then Christopher Stofira.
I'm out of here?
Dude, I lost my job too. I got demoted. If I'm going for the majors to the minors, you're going down to like single A. You're on the bullpen in the highlight cut. Some chat sports jargon right there. Christopher, we'll get your super chat on screen next. Thank you guys for your super chats. Michael, thank you so much. Rate would round Hunter if he's only one position. I think if Travis Hunter is looked at as just a wide receiver, I think he'd be around pick 17 to 20. Kind of reminds me of a few years ago, Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnson, where that collection went all starting at 20 to 24. I think he might be a little bit better, but if you did not know he played corner and you just saw him play receiver, I think he'd be there. Travis Hunter, the corner, I think probably goes around 8 to 12. I'll slide that down. I'll go 6 to 10.
Yeah.
I'll go 6 to 10 for Travis Hunter, the corner.
I'm right on board with that.
Yep.
I think you just look at the wide receivers that are in the draft right now. Teteroy McMillan, number 1.
I like Matthew Golden more for what it's worth.
So
I know T-Mac is like the the common one, but my opinion is Matthew Golden from Texas.
After that, I think it's Travis Hunter.
Yeah, could be.
A wide receiver.
Yeah, could be.
So I think he's better than Luther Burden.
I agree.
He's a better athlete. The production's there. We love production.
Love production.
So, and then cornerback, I'm right on the same page.
Ninja Cal, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Those compliments never get old. I just said a nice thing in the chat. Okay, let's do the following. Let's do a super chat and like update, and then we'll do one more round of free entries. We're gonna do a duck race in 8.5 minutes. If you want, Papa T, first time all week, Papa T, where you been? Just as I was about to say, if you want to be added to the duck race, super chat, and we guarantee you get in. Otherwise, you'll have to see if I pick you or not when I do one more free round of entries from the chat. Papa T just clicked on a vid and MP and the boys popped up live. How awesome. Sup fellas, still kicking ass. Papa T, thank you so much. Always fun to see you in the chat. Give Max my best. Thank you for tuning in and for supporting us. Luke, yes, it's not very common. This is Luke in the Falcons channel asking a question. But we just don't have enough hosts for all 32 teams. And it's still, I don't know if this is a good comp, but it's not a great comp. But if you've ever seen the show Silicon Valley, you know how Pied Piper, they were really grinding for a while, and there was only like 4 of them. We're not Pied Piper because we're bigger than a 4-man band, but the same kind of mentality of like everyone's going to wear multiple hats as we continue to grow. And then at some point, you know, the hope is you have one host for all 32 teams and things like that. But I enjoy covering the NFL, and I think it gives me, I wouldn't say an advantage, but having coverage of more than one team, I know more than one roster. I know a lot of players, and I know them pretty well. Okay, Papa T, thank you so much. Another $50 super chat just flew in from Mr. Haha, trying to get Falcons today up to first in the super chat battle. Reed is going to throw the standings up in just a moment here. Last second push. I love it. It's like a tug-of-war game. One last big pull. So Reed's going to update that. Asher is asking what the duck race is. The duck race is we have 3 different prizes for 3 different channels. I snagged these 2 bad boys from the NFL Combine, and I'm just going to mail them to the winner of our Broncos and Browns duck race. And duck race is exactly that. It's ducks racing. I couldn't get one for Atlanta, so instead when I go to Vegas next week, I am going to I'm going to get a future on the Falcons to win the division, and whoever wins duck race, I'm just going to give them that ticket. So they have that to hold on to all year long, and if it hits, they get the winnings and everything. You don't have to go to Vegas, by the way, to get your winnings. You can just mail it to the casino, and they will mail you a check. Just in time.
Sorry, just in time. I forgot.
Did you cuck him?
A little bit.
I'm sorry, just in time.
Sorry, Justin.
What's the price tag looking like to move up in the draft for Genti, and who could we likely trade with? Just in time, this is a very good question. When I get off live, I'm going to do a video kind of talking about this general idea. I love history, and I'm going to go back and find trades from around picks 20 to around, say, pick 10. Off the top of my head, the most notable one that I could think of as of late was the Bears going from 20 to 11 to get Justin Fields. That cost him a future first and a third. So I'd use that as a frame of reference. But this draft is not as good, so a team picking 11 might be actually happy to move back a little bit and still get something. So maybe it's just a future first and not a third. Just in time, thank you so much for your super chat. I'm really sorry for the wait. We've got EHYGO. Every time I say that, all I can think of is HOTTOGO. You can take me high to go. All right. EHYGO. 5 minutes to go. And then we're going to do a... By the way, for anyone just tuning in, Atlanta signed a depth piece at edge. Morgan Fox from the Chargers, 2-year deal worth up to $8.5 million. I think this is your Judon and Lorenzo Carter type replacements where maybe not Judon, maybe more of like a Grady Jarrett, because I think he's going to be a true defensive lineman, not an outside linebacker. But you just had to add some more depth with all the free agents at that position. DeMichael sent another super. I'm still frozen. I got to refresh every like.
Michael with a $50 super
Michael!
chat.
Michael and who's our Navy friend? I'm blanking on his name.
Oh, hold on. I got it.
Starts with the Byron. Michael and Byron
Lewis.
just going back and forth on Broncos breakdown and super chats. Let's trade for Duron Bland or Christian Gonzalez or Denzel Ward. And for pass rush, why not get Keon White rather than Trey? Thank you. Love the videos. I can't see any of the super chats right now. It's driving me nuts. Duron Bland, I don't think the Cowboys want to trade. Plus, you really want to trade for someone who had a big foot injury last year? No thanks for me. New England likes Christian Gonzalez. Remember, back in remember when Rolly and I were doing the channel together? We really wanted Christian Gonzalez for Atlanta. They went with Bijan Robinson. I think both parties are happy with their pick. And Denzel Ward is not getting traded. That's just not happening. And Keon White, I don't think New England wants to move either. So I'm not just seeing any of these guys get dealt right here. But I like the effort, you know what I mean? Way to swing for the fences. Another $50 super chat from Michael Ronquillo. And then Jerry, a $100 super chat. Ladies and gentlemen, if we get the running game figured out, we can win the division this year. The Chiefs' ground game is going to be rough next year. So Sam says the Chiefs' run game is going to be ass next year. I think, Jerry, you may have, I wouldn't say like you're onto something here, but like I like where your heart's at. Sam?
I do want to point out that noted NFL insider, analyst, whatever you want to call him, ass kisser Jordan Schultz said the Chiefs had a sneaky good way of addressing their backfield in free agency by signing Elijah Mitchell, who did not have a single carry last year, and Kareem Hunt, who averaged about 3.5 yards per carry last year.
Maybe the Chiefs, just to end the first round, take Caleb Johnson or Maureen Hampton if he's still there.
I mean, Pacheco, I don't know that he'll even make it past his rookie contract. He did not look good after coming back from a leg injury. Shout out Jerry.
Jerry, thank you so much for the super chat. Everyone spam Jerry in the chat.
Broncos country thanks you.
Appreciate it, Jerry. Okay, let's pick. Everyone start spamming in the chat. I'm not going to tell you who I'm going to first. And then I am going to select 3 names from 3 different chats for 3 free entries into our duck race. And then we're going to have the duck race. So, start spamming. While they do that, do you want to update the super chat? Why don't you throw the super chat scoreboard? Michael, Mr. Haha, and Jerry, Papa T, EHYGL. Thank you guys for your super chats. Start spamming. Start spamming anything. I'm picking 3 people out of the chats for free entries for our duck race. Atlanta signed a defensive end, Morgan Fox from the Chargers. Add some depth. I'll do a full video breakdown on that right after the live ends and then publish it as a video. So here is the updated super chat battle. It looks like Denver is going to win this one.
We got 30 seconds. If there's a grace period.
Yeah.
If there's a delay in the YouTube
There's a delay, so like I usually like the next 5 or 10 seconds. Okay. I'm going to pick someone. I'm going to pause the chat. I'm not telling you which chat I'm looking at first, though. So you got to be spamming because it could be your chat for a free duck race entry for either a Browns or Broncos NFL Combine table marker or an Atlanta Falcons future on them to win the division. That'll be all for you. The winnings will be just completely for you if it hits. All right, we ready? I'm going to pause the chat. You don't know which one I'm looking at, so be on your toes. Here we go. Pausing it in 3, 2, 1. Paused it. And I've got Jake Curry. Jake Curry on our Broncos. Jake Curry from our Broncos. Falcons and Browns. Keep spamming. One of you guys is going to be next. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Pausing it. And I've got Edwin Taylor from our Browns channel. Edwin Taylor from our Browns channel. And now, Falcons. Papa T with the $2 super. Gonna go 3, 2, 1. From our, 3, 2, 1. Pause it. I've got Frisco 360. Frisco 360 from our Falcons channel. Add another entry for Papa T with his $2 super chat. Jeremy Stallman. Oh, okay. I thought you did one for every super. Yeah. No, it's all right. That's fine. Okay, here we go. Let's get... Yeah. All right, let's get into our races. Are we ready? Yeah, like battle too. So, Atlanta's pulled ahead of Cleveland, but Denver's still in first. So hit that thumbs up button. That's completely free. Help your team win the like battle. Let's do our duck races. Let's do the Broncos one first. Is that okay? Broncos duck race first, and then we'll do Browns, and then we'll do Falcons. If you want to be a part of the duck race, super chat, and we'll add your name to it. We're doing one entry per person just to keep it simple. We have 3 different teams going on here, so it'll be a lot to chew. Yeah, Broncos first. Broncos first, then Browns, then Falcons. So duck races for our 3 prizes. Ty Brown, who did the Falcons sign today, chat? They signed a corner and a defensive end. We're going to do full breakdowns on those 2 signings in a video after our live ends, and I'll publish it on the channel for you guys to watch. My computer, after I guess 5 days of running 3 streams at once, is mad at me, and everything's moving at archaic speed. I'm excited for the Duckies. Let's go. Duckies. Duckies. Okay, this is the first one up is for the Broncos only. Oh, sorry. Crackle pop. This is just for Denver. Okay? Just for Denver. Cleveland's next, then Atlanta. Get the ducks in the pond for the Broncos. All right. 3, 2, 1. Send the Duckies. For a Broncos NFL Combine table marker that I took from their table after they left on Thursday. Who's it going to be? Just because with a $5 super chat. I'm so sorry, just because we've already started the race. 35 seconds in. 35 seconds left. Jess has a slight lead. What's that on Jess's head? Is she a reindeer? A rain duck, yeah. Michael's just hanging out. He's the #1 duck in the pond, and he's acting like it, too. Meanwhile, Coach Chris making a little bit of a move. Oh, Michael's losing gas. Timothy's trying to make a surge. It's Vampire Tim. Here's Jerry in the middle. It's Pink Jerry.
10 seconds.
Now, who is that? Candy coming back for more?
Coach Chris.
Coach Chris.
Coach Chris.
It's Purple Chris.
Coach Chris.
Coach Chris. Coach Chris. Do we have my email? Okay. Reed is going to put my email at the bottom. All winners, email me. I just need your information, your address, so I can mail it to you. So, congratulations to Coach Chris. Next up is the Browns. No new news on Cooper Kupp, other than He's supposed to make a decision today per Diana Rossini, or it could be done today. I've got 5 teams out there: Cowboys, Saints, Broncos, Seahawks, Patriots. I think he's going to Seattle. Tennessee leading Texas 49-44, under 16 to go in the game. Quarterfinals of the SEC tournament. Okay, next duck race next duck race up is Cleveland. So, Coach Chris, email me, please. That's my email, 2 T's. That way I can send you your winnings. And don't be like he's him and wait 4 months to send me it. Cleveland. And then Atlanta. Watching Texas working in the paint, picks up his dribble, kicks it out, and it's stolen away. Good defense. That's why you keep your hands up on defense. Ziegler finding Gainey in the corner, doesn't want it, works his way to the top of the key, slowing it down, under 15 to go. 7th turnover of the game for the Longhorns. Gainey working on the left side. Gainey driving, Gainey pulling up, shot is blocked.
Jackson, you are in because you sent a super chat. All you had to do was send a super chat.
You're in, Jackson.
You're in already.
Is his name? I see Jackson Finley, right below Tim Green. Okay. And add ATL Jet Jones. He just super chatted. Oh, no, for the Falcons one. Not for this one. I don't believe Ty Brown, Morgan Fox is a special team signing. I don't know a lot of defensive ends that get signed for special teams. I think it's just a depth signing. Okay. This is for the Browns now. This is the prize for the Browns one. Yep. Here we go. Very even out the gates. Maybe Jax with a slight lead.
Jared,
him and Chris.
Jared Brandt, you're all the way at the top. Yeah, see?
No, well, Jared's all at the bottom.
He's all the way at you're the first one. First one.
Add FJ for Falcons. You can't type? Oh, okay. I thought it was on your computer. I see. Okay. Halfway through, Finley and Stofira duking it out. Can either one hold on? I don't know. It's not going to go away easily.
Jim.
If he's him wins, this is going to be a nightmare for my shipping.
Who?
If he's him wins.
Oh. Wait.
10 seconds.
Edwin Taylor?
Edwin Taylor at the top. He's in the fast lane.
He's him. Here comes. He's him.
Edwin Taylor. Edwin Taylor will put my email at the bottom of the screen. Email me so I can mail you your duck race winnings. Thank you, Edwin, for hanging out with us. And last but not least is Atlanta. Just because, I'm sorry, you had sent your super chat. We had already begun the Broncos race, and I didn't want to restart it. So I'm very sorry. We are adding, you got ATL Jet Jones. Yep. And then add FJ. And then add Christopher Mason. Yep. Okay. All super chats we'll put on screen, by the way, after this last duck race. Mr. Haha, I think everyone would be very happy if you won for all of your contributions. Maybe not your fellow competitors, but the rest of the chat, surely. Congratulations, Edwin. Has anyone heard from the Broncos winner, Coach Chris? Okay. Let's send the Duckies. This is for Atlanta. Okay. Falcons race. The winner is going to get a $20 future on the Falcons to win the division, courtesy of yours truly. And you get to hold on to that and cash it in at the end of the year when they win the NFC South.
It's good too because you don't have to risk anything.
Yep, you just get to sit back and it's like an investment.
Get it. Yeah, ATL Jet Jones with a fancy top hat.
E. Roberts with the lead. Where is Mr. Haha? Oh, I see him in the middle. He's polka dotted?
He's got stars on him.
Oh, that's a sign.
He's honestly in a good
he's
spot
still
right
there.
now. Mr. Haha in a great spot.
It's a lot.
But here comes Chris Mason.
Here's Chris. Oh, Mr. Ha's losing speed.
Speed up. Mr.
Chris
Haha.
Mason with 3.
Chris Mason.
2.
Oh my God.
It's Chris Mason.
Chris Mason.
The last entry.
All right, Chris. My email will go at the bottom of the screen. All right. I haven't seen the Broncos winner yet. And I feel bad because just because sent it at the wrong time. Let's do another Broncos one. Yeah. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do another Broncos one. If I never hear from Coach Chris, whoever wins the provisional one will get it. But if Coach Chris emails me like, hey, I had to go to work, but I watched it afterwards and saw I won, then the provisional one is just that, a provisional one. But we'll include just because in the provisional one because I don't want to leave them out. Yep. Just because. Chris Mason, are you here? Oh, there you are. Yep. Congratulations, Chris. Email me, please. Mr. Haha, Chris Mason is here. No provisional. Mr. Haha, send me a note, though, because I still want to send you something. So please, same goes for you, Michael. If you sent in a $50 super chat or more, I want to, express my, sincerest gratitude more ways than just saying on stream, thank you. FJ, thank you for the super chat. We'll get it on screen. But, yeah, Morgan Fox to Atlanta, 2-year deal. Yeah, leave him in there. But we're going to add just because. That's just destiny, yeah. So this is the provisional in case I never hear from Coach Chris. Okay. Here we go. Just because, are you still here? Because I'll be bummed out if you aren't here anymore and we did this whole provisional because we didn't have you in the first one. So provisional for Broncos because we have not heard from the winner, but I've heard from the other 2 winners. Oh, upside down. Who's it going to be? Tennessee up by 10, by the way, against Texas. Winner goes to play the 1-seeded Auburn Tigers in the semifinals. Just because I sure hope you're still here. Imagine if he wins now and he doesn't know he won. Byron Lewis.
Looks like they
Look
hit
at Byron.
a sandbar.
It's Byron and Powell. 8 seconds. A big push from Timothy Gold. Timothy Gold.
You think just in time and just because are the same person?
I don't know. I don't think so. Timothy, Reed's going to throw my email at the bottom once more. You send me a note as well. Let's catch up on all the super chats real quick, and then we can let you guys get on with the rest of your Friday afternoons. Tennessee's lead has grown to 13 with 12 minutes and 50 seconds. Mr. Haha, got your email. Thank you very much. I just want to, send you a little something for everything you've done for me. Okay. Let's recap some of the super chats, and then we will sign off. This will conclude all of our live free agency coverage like this. It's been an absolute whirlwind since Monday to Friday. So many transactions, so many signings, trades, all that good stuff, but I'm happy to have done it all with you guys here. So thank you for hanging out with me all week, those of you that have. And if you've just been hanging out for 5 or 10 minutes, that's great too. Now Texas is making a response, but 61-49 with 12 minutes to go. Plenty of time. No update on Cooper Kupp. Okay, ATL Jet Jones. If we do trade for Trey Hendrickson, then I say we draft Malachi Starks at 15. Although I wouldn't be opposed to a trade down either. Yeah, I can understand the logic behind this. I think a trade down could work out nicely with not having a lot of draft picks. I would prefer Will Johnson, if available, over Malachi Starks because I think Mike Hughes only signed basically a 1-year contract. So I don't think we should be thinking, oh, you're locked into him because of a 3-year deal. Less than $10 million is guaranteed. As for Malachi Starks, I kind of prefer Nick Emanwari from South Carolina, but Starks is also a lot of fun too. Pardon? Emanwari? He's a safety. Yeah. So I get the thought process behind it, and I could definitely warm up to it. But a trade down, I think if you get Hendrickson, a trade down would be best because you got to recoup that second rounder you gave up for him. Jet Jones, thank you so much for your super chat. A few more to catch up on here. Papa T. Need a little Stallman today. Yeah, Jeremy, just a little busy probably at work, but still always great to see all the support come in. Super chats, likes, comments. Greatly appreciate it. Okay. Next super chat. Christopher, I feel left out. Chris wins both other races. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. Could have been a clean sweep for the Christopher Robins. What could have been. And just because from our Broncos channel, I feel this season is the flip for the Broncos. Not saying we're winning it all, but I feel it's the start of something changing haven't seen in 10 years. You'd hope that coming off a playoff appearance, you really kind of build off of that. You don't want the regression year, kind of like the Texans. You kind of want the Bills, like when the Bills had the breakout with Josh Allen in year 2. Year 3, all of a sudden they became a perennial force. So I can definitely understand and see where you land there. I think Denver's going to win 10 games next year. FJ with a $10 super chat. Thank you, FJ. Appreciate it. Tuning in on our Falcon stream. We got another super chat, I think, from FJ. First, Christopher Mason with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Chris. Congratulations to your speedy ducky. Morgan Fox to Atlanta, 2-year deal. Indeed, I think this is a depth signing, and you needed some more pass rushers, so you go out and get someone who has been widely available for almost all their NFL career and can help bring in some, just that, depth. And for what you're paying, you're going to get what you pay for. Are those all the super chats, boys and girls? Okay. So, we're going to sign off. It's been 3 hours and about 20 minutes. Appreciate all of you who have watched with us. If you haven't subscribed, do so. No one likes the YouTuber that tells you to subscribe. It's corny. It's, needy. But if you enjoyed me standing here and talking to you guys for 3 hours, I think a subscription is a good transaction. So make sure you subscribe. That way you can stay in the know for all of your team's signings and trades and all that good stuff. Hit the sub button down below. I'm sure I will have lots of videos over the weekend of more news and things like that. So I'll see everyone then. And for those of you that have watched Monday to Friday, I want to shake your hand, give you a big bear hug, and say, love that you chose to watch free agency with me.